step in your river, and it takes me deep. Your heart is my temple, your tears rinse my feet. I walk out, I'm able to carry your peace. It reminds me of a song that I heard long ago. Maybe I've always known that you were right there. A simple melody playing over and over in my dreams.
What's up, everybody? We are live in the Lion's Den. It's Tuesday night, so you know what that means. We're going to talk about some stuff. You're here with the Young Lions, and you are watching Young Lion TV.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they're dying. Everywhere I look, they're dying. Young lion, won't you get up and start fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
Yes, sir. Young Lion TV, like we do every Tuesday night. Thank you guys for being here. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat already. Make sure you guys hit that like button and share this video because the algorithm does not like us. So we need you guys to support by just sharing the video. That's the simplest thing you can do. And also hit that like button and hit the notification bell on YouTube and all that good stuff. But I have with me this evening my brother who is pretty much matching me again as always. We're both wearing the same exact thing.
It's not just you. And
Do you not want to have a mic today? Is that what's going on?
What is going on? I'm like, I don't hear myself.
You miss 1 week and you forget how to do this. What's going on?
No, I was just saying, it's not just you and I.
Yeah.
It's Jake too.
Yeah, Jake too.
At the men's retreat, we realized we pretty much was wearing the same thing, like the same pants.
Yeah. We look like
So we're all up there doing our little spiel, and all of us got the same thing.
same exact pants on.
I mean, you are in a group. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And we're
They're
like,
gonna break out
Today,
that song,
today
guys.
I'm matching.
but the thing was, like, it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
We didn't.
We never coordinated.
Nobody
with
ever
each
said,
other.
"I like those pants. I'm gonna get them too."
No, we all bought
it.
them individually.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What would the boys of Jatan do?
That's how you know we've been around each other too much.
We also order the same stuff too. Like
Yeah.
literally
Oh my God.
all the
At
time.
restaurants,
Me and
yeah.
Jamie always the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about like the same drink.
The same
The same-
substitutions.
Yeah,
The same like add-ons. We'll do the same.
appetizers.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is
It's
weird.
so weird.
We've been around each other too much. But
Anyways,
let's do the intro.
All
So
right.
he is matching me today. He's my twin, but our hats are flipped.
Just
but
so we know the difference.
we're rocking the merch together. He is my Asian brother. He's the coolest Asian in the world, Mr. Chang.
And we have him. We have him. We have the coolest one.
Yeah,
thanks, man.
coolest Asian in the world, and he's in our crew. Like, you know,
Go get your
something. Go get your own cool Asian. Okay. I don't care who you think is cool Asian. He's not as cool as this one. Okay. Okay.
Making me uncomfortable, Jimmy.
What's his name from the food vlogger? What's his name?
Dang.
Oh, JL.
JL Jupiter. Yeah, JL Jupiter.
He's pretty cool though.
He is, but he's not
He's
as
pretty
cool.
cool.
JL Jupiter, can you ride a bike with one gear
Yeah.
up the Diamondback Mountain?
Right.
I don't know if
so.
that's cool. I think that's just like over competitive, which I got from these guys, by the way.
Oh, they are all competitive.
Yeah.
You didn't
But-
get that from us.
Yeah.
You just,
we bring it out of
Yeah.
you, but yeah,
it's
there.
already there.
Yeah.
I was saying this to I was at the field yesterday, and I was like talking to one of my friends, Brendan. He's on here.
Shout
Sometimes.
out to Brendan. He's always watching.
And
yeah.
I was like, man, soccer is like life. Like when you're on the field, he's like, how? And he's like, how? I'm like, because when you're on there, it's gonna challenge you,
yeah.
right? And he's like, yeah, but when I'm at work, I'm different. I'm like, yeah, because you're not challenged.
Yeah.
Like because you're comfortable. You're like, he's the boss, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But when you when you're challenged and you're going through something, like it comes out of you,
Yeah.
you know. So and then you can see like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, or sometimes it's a good way, you know. It challenges you, and good stuff comes out of you.
Anybody who's watched this podcast more than once knows that Jake always equates life to soccer. He is the Mr. Miyagi of soccer. Where, you know how Mr. Miyagi turned everything about karate into life lessons. Jake could do that with soccer easily. But, so let's keep it going then. So to introduce my brother, he's everybody's big brother. He is the soccer coach, Mr. Jake Evans III. And then back again, looking all spiffy today.
Yeah.
Not looking like you just got done hanging drywall.
Nah,
Looking clean.
yeah, fingers are clean.
Looking clean. He's the half black, half Indian with the Spanish last name, a.k.a. the most confusing racially man in the world, Mr. James Garcia in the building.
You say that, but people look at me like, that's a black guy.
Yeah. That's why it's confusing.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, he's Indian? and he's Garcia? What is going on here? How does that even happen? Because people in this country only think of race from the perspective of Americans. They don't
Of
understand
course, yeah.
the Trinidadian dynamic of racial,
Yeah. Yeah.
They're mixed.
Yeah.
Just like that dish upstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at it. There's like kibasi in there, shrimp, and then it has a jerk spicy sauce
Yeah.
with pasta.
Yep. Yep.
It's so mixed.
Leave it to Caribbean people to just
It's good
who-
though. It's good.
Who did you guys say he looks like? Brian Dawkins?
Brian Dawkins.
Yes,
yeah,
he does. 'cause
B-Dawg.
I was thinking he does.
The Trinidadian.
I did. I
B-dogs.
do get that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you hear her talking, but she doesn't like to be on camera.
Camera now.
She is our producer, and she is going to hold it down tonight. She is our mother as well, and we love her. She's Miss Angeli Lopez. So, yeah, once again, shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Please hit that like button and, drop a comment in there. If you're on Rumble, I don't know why, but we don't see the chats as well on Rumble. So we're gonna be trying to look for them. But, drop a comment, hit the like button.
There.
Yeah, Stan's in there. What up, Stan?
Yeah, man, we miss Stan on the podcast. Shout out to Stan, the Black Batman. He's not here tonight.
That baby life.
That new baby life. He can't get out the house. But yeah, we miss having you here. So hopefully we'll have you back soon. We're gonna be talking about your boy Desantis tonight a little bit. I gotta get into his boot gate. Have you guys seen the boot
No.
gate?
Nope.
I figured you wouldn't have.
I seen the title.
Okay, so
I'm very curious
We're gonna talk
on-
about that a little bit. But yeah, if you guys want to support what we do here, this is the Young Lion podcast. Young Lion is something that we've been led to do for a couple years now, where we just show, men who grew up together, who are family, friends, but, care about culture, care about life, care about our community. We talk about the issues of the world. We talk about culture. We talk about marriage, relationships. We talk about business. We talk about a bunch of different things from the perspective of people who believe in Christ. So if that's something that you want to support and get behind, you can become a Patreon member and support what we're doing by going to patreon.com/youngliontv. You see it right there at the bottom of the screen. And then you can, for as little as $3 a month, you can become a member and support what we're doing. But you can also support on Cash App if you want to just throw a little donation at the boys to help us keep the lights on and get the gear up to date as much as possible. You can do that as well. We also have our merch that we are wearing right now. You can get that merch on the description link that we have in there. And Jatam Music, we were working on a new release that's coming out soon. So we were in the studio last night finalizing that, so that'll be out soon. And we got some shows coming up that we'll let everybody know about if you want to come see us live. Other than that, I think that's everything.
What's the name?
Name of the song? It's actually, we're putting out the cover of In Your Eyes, the Peter Gabriel song.
Oh, okay.
We're going to put that out because we've been doing that song for years and we never officially recorded it. So we recorded it
With your flavor on
with
it.
our flavor,
I can't wait.
and we're gonna put that out.
I was gonna say that's the first cover that we did, but we did some stuff for Huff. That was pretty much all covers, right?
You mean like first cover that we recorded
No, that we're putting out.
that we're putting out? We didn't put it. Oh yeah, that's true. We put
Yeah,
out the Christmas songs are covers
Yeah.
technically.
Oh, I forgot about it.
Put out "Say It" back in the day.
Say it was a cover that was the first cover we actually released. Yeah. Wow, forgot about that. But yeah, man, again, hit the like button, guys. Share the video. Drop a comment in, say hello. Shout out to Theris. I see our
Hey,
Patreon
Theris.
members in there. Shout out to Theris who said, hey, family. She's in the building as usual. Okay, so last week, Halloween, Everybody was kind of like, we came in here afterwards. We took the families out, got them some candy, and then we came in and did the stream. But I saw something. I saw some young boys that was doing it right, man. They had the costume. They had the costume down, bro. What?
I know. I already know.
What?
I already
What?
know.
I think they won. I think they won Halloween.
No, they did.
I think they won Halloween, man. Some young boys was out here showing people how it's done out here in these streets. Mom, can you pull this up real quick so we can show this amazing costume idea? Yeah. These.
Do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do ba do do ba do boo do a boo ba do ba do boo ba do a do.
So we have, if you can't see it, we have 3 young men. One of them is dressed up as our president, Joe Biden, and then 2 Secret Service members. And everywhere he goes, there's a bunch of videos of them. And everywhere he goes, he's just falling down, falling up steps,
Going the wrong way.
Going the wrong
Oh
way.
my God, so funny.
And they're helping him stay on track the whole
Yeah, I know.
time.
I seen a
Yeah.
bunch of these.
Yeah, so I thought that was,
That was clever, man.
a clever little costume, man.
That is.
But it also speaks to, the joke that is our our White House right now. And these
What, Jake?
No, I'm just like I'm just thinking I can't wait till it's over.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we went to the Twilight Zone and,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
and just things just went crazy.
And they just deny. It's funny. Like the youth, they see it.
Yeah.
And they're making fun of it, but media will deny.
Oh, they're lying to us
Yeah.
about it. They want us to believe, we're better off than ever than we were before.
I mean, the polls don't say that.
Right. Yeah.
So they can say what they want. But
People's pockets know the difference.
Right, yeah.
I go to the grocery store and don't fill up a little basket, and I'm spending $100-something.
exactly.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't, if you're denying that, I mean, what kind of conversation can we really have?
Yeah.
Dude, I just drove down to Virginia Beach this past weekend, and I caught myself, like, gas is expensive out
Yeah.
here, and it was like $3 and like 9 cents or something like that. I caught myself getting excited, but then I'm like, wait, this is still expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's regular. Like Shaniqua's car take premium.
Yeah.
It's like,
Man.
yeah.
Man, y'all rich.
Listen, she goes to Costco in Jersey. Costco has I don't know in Jersey, but Mount Laurel, they have a rule that you don't have to have a membership. So
Okay.
Costco has, but the lines, everybody goes there.
Wow.
The lines are like backed up.
Wow.
So all the clubs, if you have a club membership, you could buy from their
Okay.
pumps or whatever it is. So
Okay.
Costco had one, and everybody knows that. So they're like about 20 cents, 30 cents cheaper.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah,
Well, the
gas
one
is
near
hurting
me
people.
is 309.
yeah.
Yeah, 309.
We were
Not
what?
bad. I
We
mean,
were
it's bad,
230,
but-
Cheap. It's
232 when I think 232 was average when Trump left office,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, he had it even lower too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's like it's obvious what we're dealing with right now. A lot of people are expressing regret, like buyer's remorse. Like I've seen a bunch of polls about that where people are like experiencing buyer's remorse for voting the way they did. But we always talk about that on here. Like they made the focus just we have to get Trump out no matter what.
matter what, yeah.
He's evil, and it became about like just basically just grave dancing on Trump supporters at that point. And so anything they needed to do to get him out, they didn't care what that meant, what the consequences were going to be. They weren't looking at policies, none of that.
I will say, like, on the other side, like, we maybe also there is some blame to people who felt like Trump was like a messiah,
Yeah, there definitely was that. A
Yeah.
lot of that.
Yeah,
where you're putting too much hope in a man.
yeah, the Messiah complex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that was annoying.
Jesus says, "Do not be
He
deceived."
can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like the stuff that he was doing like, because there was so much going good, but once COVID came, you saw all of these missteps, all of these bad decisions. And I remember, like, we were on the podcast calling it out at the time, like, yo, what is this? I don't agree with this. What is this? Locking down the country, all this stuff. And I just remember, like, those weird, like, Trump cult people just being like, no, see, you don't understand what's happening. This is 4D chess. What he's doing is he's locking down the country because they're going to round up Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres and they're going to put them in prison for all the crimes against. It was like,
True enough.
yeah. I mean, that's what it ended up becoming. And then it became about like all of his tweets breaking down the gematria of like every letter, the misspelled words was all on purpose. It just became like ridiculous, you know?
The one thing that all of this exposed, though, was the punditry of, you know, the media, but plus people who have social media platform.
Yeah.
Because all they did was quote these stats. We're going to be in World War III.
Yep,
Gas price is going to be hell. Everything that they quoted 4 or 5 years ago is happening right now.
Bro,
Yeah.
when he
By the very-
was getting elected, we were told we were going to be in World War III.
Yep.
We were told he was going to crash the economy. We were told he was going to, you know, he was going to have us in war with Russia, at war with Iran.
Yeah.
What-
None of that
We
happened.
on the brink of it all.
Of all of that.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, like,
Thanks.
Yeah.
What do you guys have to say now? He didn't start any wars. Gas prices was low.
Yeah.
Small businesses were making the most money they've ever made. And I hear that not only from
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
from like other people
Yeah.
too. Like people were
Even-
thriving.
He went to North Korea and went into the no-go zone by himself. Like,
Yeah.
even the immigration stuff. Like,
yeah.
that thing.
Now they're
it's-
building the wall again.
Yeah, it's out of control now. Like
It's
because
done, yeah.
It's
And I
not
think-
called the wall no more, Jamie. Okay?
It's called a fence.
so for a lot of people on the right, I think like there's always lessons to be learned.
Yeah.
right? For a lot of people on the right, like I think for everybody, period, you got to learn like nobody is gonna do You shouldn't just put all your trust in a man.
Yeah.
Right. To do everything for you, because that's what happened on the right. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
it's true.
thought somebody was going to come in and
And
save
that's why
them.
you get the Q stuff.
Mhm.
Like you start to get these very grandiose things because you think this is all this conspiracy stuff that's happening. Even though there are conspiracies,
There
but
definitely are.
that are happening. But I mean, you make it even more. And then
Yeah.
see, that's why now you start looking the conglomeration
Yeah.
of the emancipation.
Yeah, right.
Like you
You,
start.
you become
Oswald Bates.
Oswald Bates.
Yeah.
But who do you guys think do you think they're really going to run Biden again, or do you think
No.
I
they're
don't
planning
believe that.
for? Yeah,
I don't believe it.
They're propping up, dude, Newsom.
That's what I
He's
feel
going
like.
to China?
Like the fact
Like-
that he went to China did this whole bro. Did y'all see the clips of? Did y'all see the weird clips with him and the little boys though?
No.
Hold on, I
But
gotta see.
when has that happened where somebody who's just a governor going to meet with other world leaders? I don't
Well, you
remember
said
that.
it's the
I don't
parade.
remember that.
It's the you know, they got to ushering him in, you know.
They got to put him on the stage to make him look like.
Yeah. To make him look like he can do
A leader, yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but
he's-
him though,
I mean,
you look at California. He
Yeah.
ran California down to.
But he won that re-election, so they're probably looking at it from
Did
that.
he win the real?
Yeah, right.
Did he
mean-
win?
come on, man, stop queuing it up.
Come on, man.
Did you ever
That
hear?
whole-
Did you ever hear Anna Kasparian talking about him? Like,
No.
who's a huge leftist from the
Yeah.
Young Turks?
No.
She was on PBD talking about how much she can't stand
I haven't
Gavin
watched
Newsom
that yet, but
and how much he's done to ruin the state that she loves. You know what I mean? Like she.
Yeah, I think a lot of leftists even are looking at like, yo, this is crazy.
well, because they're forced to see all the decisions he's made in the city they live in.
Yeah.
So they see it. If they didn't live there, they wouldn't care. They'd be like, he's doing a great job. But because they see it, you know, and the crime has spilled over. Because I seen a video of all that crime that they didn't care about has now spilled. People are just like pulling up on cars, like,
Yeah.
and you could tell it's a nice neighborhood. It's
Yep.
not. It's not when it's in neighborhoods they don't care about. They don't care less. About
Right.
that. But the cars that they were robbing were Teslas
Right.
and nice cars on the streets, and they were just taking out these. It was in broad daylight. They were just
Yeah.
pulling out bags and running
Yep.
away.
Yeah, I saw people just in like Oakland just walking into a store, 3 dudes, and they just like were ripping cash registers out, like just taking their time.
Yeah, they don't run into nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think therefore the reason people like her, they're saying that is because they're fed up, but they're also they have to face with the consequence of what they've delved out for so long. That there's nothing to see here. Mind your business. Now they're in a place that they got to be worried about it.
Let's bring up this clip right here, Mom, of Gavin Newsom doing his best publicity stunts in China. You guys haven't seen this, him playing basketball?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, so they're calling him, look, because he's terrible at basketball, so they're calling him the next Biden. Look. And then what are you
I was
doing?
just playing. I was just.
Then he starts spanking the kid.
Yo, you just broke this kid's leg.
Like, didn't expect that. So they're saying, look, even this guy can't stop falling down. And he smacks him on his butt.
Get out of my way.
What are you doing? He's like, I'm so awkward right now. I don't know how to fix this. Smack, smack, smack. Yeah, I thought that was funny. Yeah, but that was Gavin after he went around trying to do his best photo ops. Let's get some shots of you playing basketball now.
Have you heard about like education, especially in California, how it's like horrible now?
Yeah.
Kids they can't comprehend.
Yeah.
A lot of them can't read on the level that they're supposed to read on. Like not even close.
Well, we showed that, I don't know if you weren't here, but I don't know if you were watching, but we showed how in Oregon they're removing standardized testing for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Because same thing, like kids are not doing well. So they're like, well, let's just remove testing altogether.
Right. But I mean, is it when we care more about these ideologies
Yeah.
than teaching our kids, factual stuff, like you just lose them. Like
Yeah.
these kids don't care. And then like I was even talking to my son, like the stuff that they have to teach them, the books they have to read.
Yeah.
They don't want to read these books.
Right.
They want to read books that
They're interested in.
and they try to give them these like cool books, like
Yeah.
these books that they think they can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to read that.
Yeah. They're so out of touch with what kids like really like.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like watching them like try to assign books that they think, oh, this is something you'll enjoy. Like,
I recently saw a former black, not former black, a former.
he's formerly black, Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa over
Put up a
here.
picture. A
Michael
black
Jackson.
principal, former principal, but he happens to be black, out of Houston, and he talked about the prison to school to prison, prison pipeline.
Yeah.
And that, what you guys are describing there, like, what people don't understand is, I think people don't think of these things as affecting them until it shows up in these areas. Because this is basically, it's transplanted systems from different states, and they just bring them along. So yeah, think about it, right? 5 years, no standardized testing. These kids can't read, can't write. They already have the studies and research that shows, specifically with boys, that if boys, well, it's actually teenagers, kids, but boys specifically, if they can't read by age 10, it's like they're doomed.
Yeah.
If they can't function at a reading level and comprehend in order to be able to do homework, read, write, they use those statistics to then pass it off to the prison industrial complex, the system, as per how many people are coming out of this area, can't read, can't function. They use those numbers. They use that as to how many detention centers, what they're going to need.
Yeah.
They need those numbers,
Right. Right.
And he was talking about this, and I was like, I think a lot of people just don't pay attention because this is not hidden information. It's not like there's been plenty of studies done that this is what they do. So think about standardized testing. Without that, we don't know where these boys are, but we know they're going to be 15 within 5 years. And if they can't function, read or write, what is the next step?
Well, if you think about like, most people aren't going to tell you they like school.
Yeah.
How many kids hate school?
Yeah.
Almost all.
Yeah.
I will put it up at the high 90%.
Yeah.
Yep.
And-
No, we hate school.
So again, like we're not making it relatable for kids, you know. And I'm not saying in a corny, cheesy way.
Yeah.
I'm saying in a life way. Like that's why I use like when I said soccer. Is
Yeah.
like I'm saying that because if you can see it, like it relates.
Yeah.
To everyday life, you know. And I use that a lot with my kids. Why? Because they like soccer.
Right.
So I can relate those things. Like, but that's what education is about. Like, you have to make the connection.
Yeah.
And a lot of times with our education, there's no connection.
Yeah. There's
Like,
not. It's
why-
just like information.
It's
Learn
like,
this.
Yeah, learn this. But why?
Right.
Why am I learning this?
Bro, we were just upstairs. You guys watched Elise's little project for they're learning about ancient Greece, and they had to do a project based on the wars that happened back then.
Right.
She literally comes to me and is like, "Why do I have to learn this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once I broke it down to her and explained to her, I was like, "Well, do you know that our alphabet system is based off of that? Do you know that like our calendar system, all of the stuff that we use, because that was such a big empire back in the day, that's what a lot of modern society is based off of, those structures, their government that they formed." I was like, that's what we live off of, based off of those things. Then it clicked for her, like, oh, like,
Yeah.
so you learn about the past so that you understand what you're living in now and how we got to where we are.
Yeah.
And then like I showed her some clips from 300 so she could understand, like, get excited about the fact that like, yeah, the war was kind of dope. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was different back then.
But what you're saying is like you have to learn to learn.
Right.
Like you have to teach your kids how to learn.
Mm-hmm.
The learning part is about getting them interested in it.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna want to learn.
Right.
And I think like that's what. So and I do the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
when my kids are annoyed or it doesn't make sense, I'm like, you have to relate that.
Yeah.
You have to relate that to them, or else
Yeah.
it'll miss it. But what if you don't know and you're like, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have to learn this.
Yeah,
This,
yeah.
this is BS.
Yeah. You don't never use this in
Yeah,
your
you
life.
ain't-
Yeah.
But you don't understand, like, everything is connected. Like, it blows my mind how people don't know where countries are.
Bro.
You know?
The
Or
meme,
even
what about the
states.
meme that we just talked about maybe like a month ago, the how often do you think about the Roman Empire meme?
Mm-hmm.
Which it was like women could not understand why men think about the Roman Empire. But it's because of that same thing where it's like we know how impactful that was on modern society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you look at English, like, English is not like it came out of England and it was just, no, it was created.
Yeah.
Most of the roots are like Latin.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
they're Latin based or
Or
Greek. right?
Gregorian. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff,
Yeah.
it's a mixture. I mean, some of the stuff comes from
Yeah.
England, but
The term Greco-Roman
yeah.
is about how those two cultures influence modern life so much.
Yeah. Like looking at the etymology of words, most of our words go back.
Yeah.
You know? And when you see that, it makes sense. Like, it opens up. Now you want to learn.
Yeah.
I love looking at etymology of words.
Right.
Because it opens up the understanding.
Like so many words that we just take for granted. We don't understand the true dimension of what that word means. We just settle for whatever we call it or whatever we go by today, you know.
Yeah.
But
And that's what I mean. Like, you gotta learn to learn. You gotta love learning. But not the way they teach you.
Yeah.
Which is, it's crazy. The way teachers teach you is not actually the way to learn. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get what they're giving.
Yeah.
And you can. But it's
some people
harder.
are good at just retaining information.
Yeah.
That's what I
Like
always
you.
was able to do that.
Kids-
So I
yeah.
was able to do
Kids
be
learn
good at
differently.
school.
Everybody learns different.
Yeah.
You were really good at, like, all right, I got to do this. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
This is stupid. I don't want to do it. And I would just shut off.
Right.
And so it was harder for me to learn in
Yeah.
school.
Yep.
But don't you think too? Part of it too is the system that we're in, right? There's an element that you and I talked about this, where we're part of it is, yeah, they're learning where these things originated and how it affects our lives today, but it is also the system behind it is the modern education system in terms of turning people into workers.
Yeah.
And so people come disenfranchised with it. So the frustration of a parent who might be a single parent and don't have the time to break down what you guys, this is the whole crux of what we have talked about in the past, which is 2-parent home matters, because if you have somebody who's frustrated, they're tired, they're not going to explain to a child why this is important. It'll just be more of them yelling at a child.
Right.
So the child really gets no explanation in their frustration of saying, why do I have to do this? Just do it because I told you. And that kid gets nothing. So the kid develops resentment to it. The other aspect of it is where I feel, let's be honest, right? Philadelphia is right there. There are plenty of museums that people could go to. But kids don't, how many parents will actually take their kids during the summertime and say, let's go to some museum, and let's learn some things.
Right.
Or plan a trip to the beach instead.
Yeah.
Or going to the water park. Now, all those things are good, but when I went with Sophia's class, I didn't really see a lot of teenagers there.
Yeah.
I didn't see, so those places, they're available, but people just don't go to those
It's boring
things.
to them.
Yeah, it's boring to them.
Yeah, it's like, why would I want to learn when I don't have to? But again, think about it. When you're inundated with, you're constantly beat down and traumatized by learning.
Yeah,
You don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You learn for hours and hours in school.
Right.
You're
and then,
forced to
and
re-
then you're forced to, when you get home, you're forced to do that
Yeah.
It's
till
interesting
like late at night,
because even college, like you're just getting through it to get a degree.
Yeah.
You're not really there to really learn, unless you're unless it's like you're passionate about yourself in terms. I want to identify because that's what they're doing in colleges, right? I want to identify with who I am, and
Right.
so now the colleges are like they're catering to that. If you look at like in our song "Burn," right? There's a line in there that says, "What's the B section?"
It's a sad, sad day when you see you've been getting in your own way,
Yeah, it's a lonely life.
when there's nothing else worth fighting for.
So isolation is a lot of times I feel like when you feel like I have nobody to relate to, right? But then they give you something as like a consolation, right?
Yeah.
And it becomes your fight. It becomes your passion.
Right.
And then they educate you to make you feel it's artificial in a way. And I'm saying all that because
Artificial intelligence.
hey, there's something to that, right?
Right.
But I'm saying all that because the whole point of education, the meaning of it, if it gets lost, now we got teachers who are teaching and they just wanted a degree, and they're like, well, I'm a teacher, but the meaning behind it is lost. What's the meaning of you being a teacher? And then now you're teaching, you don't have the meaning. Now you're just lording over kids. There's no meaning. And then you can't give that meaning to kids because you don't even got it. But the only meaning you do have is what they gave you, which is that artificial identity that they gave you. So now you're trying to push that on everybody else.
There's got to be passion. There's got to be love, and there's got to be passion behind it.
Yep.
Like from the teachers. If the kids feel it, they're this teacher's just giving them all this information. They're not gonna want to be there.
But look,
I
it's
remember
so twisted because now they're giving the kids passion
In a cause.
in a perverted way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so perverted now, right?
Yeah.
They're giving them because that's what they got. Like I have an identity. Like even when you say I'm a teacher, like, and I'm not saying you can be a teacher and it's fine. I'm saying like when you get your identity out of I'm a teacher,
Right.
right? Whatever. Like, oh, what do you do? Like when people get their identity out of what they do, that's not who you are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's a role you play.
Unfortunately, too, I think there are good teachers. There are a few, but they're limited by the curriculum and the standardized education system. So if they step out of that, they get penalized for it. Because I've seen teachers who've pushed back on the language and the agendas, and they've been fired.
Right.
They've been excommunicated. And we all say we love this, but how many of us are willing to support that teacher or stand with them? A lot of people aren't. So people, it's just like the COVID thing, right?
James O'Keefe is
No, he is.
somebody that I know that works at a school in South Jersey.
They got stung.
They got stung. They leaked the emails between teachers and guidance counselor about that law.
Yeah.
Where they
don't
don't
tell the
have to
parents.
tell the parents if the kids transition.
Right.
So it leaked, and he came and investigated. At this high school that I'm not going to name.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I mean, listen, we have to support the teachers that do stand up, because there's quite a few that stand up and say this is wrong.
Yeah.
We see it.
But like even the fact that how did we get there? That's what how did we get here? It didn't just happen. The teachers who wanted to stand up. Well, those teachers became superintendents, right? Later on down the line.
Yeah.
I'm talking. So these people, they implemented, and then some of them became, they went to school, got their doctorates, and implemented this education, right? These programs, right. So it's not like it just happened. Most of the time, we took our eyes off the ball.
Absolutely. I mean,
or didn't look at those fields.
but it's also we were being set up from the beginning because we did a whole breakdown on here before about how the education system was set up by the Rockefellers. You know what I mean? So that whole thing was they were designing it in a way where it was going to push parents out of any type of control. You know what I mean? It was going to push an ideology over the education. Like that's the way it was being set up. It was always intended to be what it is now.
Right. And they were going to intentionally look for people to promote and facilitate this idea. Anti-family, anti-parent, anti-establishment,
Anti-God.
Anti-rule.
Yeah.
Do what you feel, express yourself,
Right.
And we kind of fell into that trap.
And be a worker. Let me give a shout out to some of the Patreons that are jumping in here. I see Jeffrey in here. He said, need to watch the movie Dangerous Minds. Yeah, I remember that movie.
I seen that years ago.
Yeah. Thera said, they're crazy when they even do the calendar. It's wrong. 365 plus 12 is about 3. I don't know what she's trying to say there, but yeah, the calendar is crazy. Like, I remember what, like a lot of people don't even understand how the months had changed multiple times. Paul said, "What up, fam? It's what the radical communist philosopher Antonio Gramsci referred to as the long march through the institutions." Absolutely. And then I saw Emma check in, another Patreon member. Shout out to Emma. I saw Brendan jumping on there. But yeah, man. And then what they do is they try to gaslight us into believing that they're not the reason for any of these policies. We were talking about, we got onto all this because we were talking about voting for people that were regretting voting for Biden and all that stuff. So I want to show you this video that was kind of going viral of a congresswoman who was talking about black voters and talking about like what they need to see. Oh, you got it up already. All right.
Here's the deal. Perception is reality. And so when you look at the data that was provided in this poll, it talks about how people feel. And when people decide whether they're going to the poll or whether they're not going to the poll, it's all about how you feel in that moment. And so while the facts may not align with their feelings are dictating their reality. Their reality is that they said that they feel better or they felt better when Trump was in office. But we've been trying to push back. We've got some very popular African-American artists that are out here saying things like, oh, I got checks when Trump was in office.
We got some celebrities
I want those checks again, not understanding that that really came from Congress. So we've got a couple of things, the perception issue, and then we also have an issue as it relates to civics in this country and people not understanding exactly how any of this works.
So basically, she's saying blacks are too dumb to understand what's happening. So that's why they feel like it was better under Trump.
And listen to only black celebrities that
Right. Don't only listen to the ones we tell you to listen to. Don't listen to the ones telling you anything else. The fact that she said people the facts might not match how you're feeling. It's like, oh, you're right. I only feel broker than I was. I'm not actually broker. I actually have more invisible money that I don't have, but I feel broker. Yeah, gas feels more expensive, but it's not. Groceries are actually cheap right now, guys. We're doing great.
It's crazy though. Like she's literally telling you that we're trying to control the narrative.
Yeah,
she's literally saying that,
and we have to do a better job.
She means 50 Cent. She go ahead and say it.
But that's what she's saying. We have to do a better job of convincing black people that they're better. Like I thought that was funny, man, because it's like this is the game that they play. It's like gaslighting you into believing that, oh no, even though we're polling that everyone knows it was better under Trump.
You know what would be great is that if she was talking to somebody who lives in a cardboard box, she's like, this is the mansion. I mean, look at it.
I know it feels like a cardboard box, but the facts are.
Do you feel it's a mansion?
You're right.
I do.
Yeah. So let's move on to the situation with Ron DeSantis. He might be done, bro.
I haven't seen it.
I wish Stan was here because I want him to chime in on this one.
He wasn't doing good anyway.
He was dropping the ball all over the place.
Yeah.
Stan's at DeSantis.
No, but I know he would have because Stan watches a lot of stuff about like DeSantis and stuff. So I know he would have an opinion on this. But let me see if I can find the first thing I want to show. Okay, so DeSantis was getting called out for these boots that he wears. You guys haven't seen this? The boots that DeSantis wears?
No.
No? So, let me see if I can show it. So people were noticing. It does sound silly because you remember, like back in the day, they did a whole news cycle about Obama's brown suit. They did a whole news cycle about if somebody wore the wrong tie, they would make it into
Kamala
a big deal.
Harris's Timbs that she wore.
Yeah, her Timbs.
Who cares?
But no, this goes into what politics has become and the focus groups and all of the statistics that they tell you. Yeah. So just pay attention to his strut right here. Okay. People were pointing this out.
Sound like he hurt. Seems.
Is he wearing high heels?
Okay, you're getting on. You're
trying to make him.
You're getting
Trying to make him taller.
Trying to make him taller.
He's wearing cowboy boots.
He's wearing cowboy boots. But look at his walk. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Now I'm
walk.
gonna show you another video. People were pointing this one out too. Let me pull it up a little bit bigger. So on this one, you can kind of see it a little bit better. You see his strut. Now look how big those boots are in the front, okay? And you see how much space is in the back there?
I mean, I can't see from
You can't tell? Look at that. Look at that fold in his boot. Can you see that?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
So what people are pointing out is that there's lifts under his feet inside the boot. He's wearing oversized boots with lifts under his feet inside the boot.
How tall is he?
This is the thing. They're saying because statistically it shows that people ever since the advent of TV, people under 6 foot never get elected president.
Oh Lord. How is this a thing?
Dude, this is like I said, they have serious. I was watching a dude on Timcast who was doing investigative journalism on politics, and he wrote a book on it. And he was saying that he got like a lot of behind the scenes information, and he actually found out that it's much worse than we think it is. Like the way the Oppo research that they do, all of the calculations of what they wear, everything is down to a science. With like statistics and numbers and everything. So one of the things is height. If you're below a certain height, you remember when who was the Democratic candidate that wanted to debate Trump standing on a crate because he's short? Was it Bloomberg?
I think it was Bloomberg.
Bloomberg, yeah.
He's tiny.
Yeah, so it's like the height is a perception thing. If you're seen on stage standing next to someone who's towering over you, people just see you as weaker, you know? So then because this was going viral and everyone's talking about it, like people were showing all these videos. They were showing the boots, where he got them from, like how they sell boots like this on purposely made to increase your height. It's like the George Costanza episode. Remember when he wanted to be taller? He was wearing Timbs everywhere.
You know how people over exaggerate everything. I heard that he was wearing high heels.
Yeah, well, it's
know what I mean?
it's basically lifted boots,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
he
allegedly,
was walking like he was,
and then you could tell by his
Wow.
walk that's not a normal walk. It's like
Yeah.
He's like,
it's a
sure,
walk.
he's 5'11".
If a man's wearing high heels, that's how he would walk. But that he's 5'11" with them boots on, bro. You just looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 5'11" with them boots on.
I'm sure that they can find some
So,
info, like he
this is-
played sports, something.
Bro,
You
they-
gotta- 'cause
all of
you
that
gotta list
stuff
your height.
will get wiped, bro.
But who
All of that
cares?
stuff will get
But
handled.
Who cares? Right?
People care.
People care, and that's why you would go to that lengths, or
Like subconsciously. That's
the
what
fact
that's
that
what
he would
Jamie's
listen
saying.
to people to
Yeah,
do that.
He would listen. Look
It
at
he's made himself look foolish because, like I said, you say 5'11", right? That's what it's listing on
So-
what, Wikipedia?
On Google.
On Google, right?
So
we
did
know
he,
we
did
know
he
where.
do this? Did he do this? Is this has been a thing in Florida also?
Yes. People have
So-
have
but
pointed this
they-
out. So let me show you guys this next clip. So he was on PBD. He was on PBD, and then this went viral because, you know, shout out to Patrick Bet-David. He's been killing it on the interview thing, and he had Ron DeSantis finally on to talk to him, and he didn't like you saw how he came at Anthony Weiner, right?
Yeah.
When he did the Anthony Weiner interview, he called him out on all the Hillary conspiracies. So this is him talking to DeSantis about the heel thing.
What do you say to the audience when they look at you and say, okay, so Governor, I love your policies. I'm very happy. I'd love, for you to be a president. I think you have a lot of great qualities of being a president. You're a family guy, you're this, you're that. But what do you say to the faction that says, but the guy gave you an opportunity to be a governor. How about show loyalty to that guy? What do you say to those people?
How's it showing loyalty when he attacks me
Before,
But this might be the
that's
wrong
I mean,
clip.
like, and I have no. And to not saddle up and be a team player in
Yeah.
that situation.
Okay, this is the wrong clip. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, well, you can pull it down. Let me find it real quick. But he was on PBD, and he calls him out and asks him about the boots. And then hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Does he get mad?
He doesn't get mad.
So silly.
Right? Oh my gosh.
Control you in the marketplace.
Here we go, here we
Okay,
go.
I'm sure they're doing that. Can you bring this one clip? I know you were on, what do you call it? On, what was it? Bill Maher, and Bill Maher talked about the boots. I've seen you walk with these boots. Go ahead and play this clip. This on TikTok went viral.
Look,
It doesn't have 1 million views. It doesn't have
People-
10 million views. This thing's got
Look at
1.2
that,
million
dude.
likes. And some people are wondering,
What are they? I don't even. I
so
haven't
what-
seen that.
What they've not
I
shown
haven't
this to you.
seen
Okay,
that.
what they're trying to say with this is that in your boots you have heels.
No.
That's what they're trying to say.
those
Look
are
at
just
that.
standard
Dude,
off
I
the
don't know.
rack,
That-
Lucchese.
How tall are you? How tall are you, Governor? How tall?
5'11".
5'11". Okay. Why don't you wear tennis shoes and dress shoes?
I do wear tennis shoes when I work out. Yeah, 100%.
You do.
Yep.
Okay. I got a gift for you. I'd love for you to wear. Okay. I shop at Ferragamo. Okay. And
he pulled
I
out
don't
some
accept
boots.
gifts. I can't accept it.
I can't
I'm
accept
sorry.
it. I can't accept it. I can't accept it.
He can't accept gifts.
Did he show us the boots? I wanted to see.
He never accepted them. Oh, you want to see what the boots look like? No, but he dropped some boots. Like, here, put these on. Show us.
But see, this is the problem, and we've dealt with this. Like,
Yeah.
even in entertainment.
yeah,
Like you have, like it's the perception. Do this thing. You got to do this thing over here because
right. This is what
and-
sells. This is what people want.
Brendan said this country is like a sitcom.
But for us, dude, for me, like I there was a lot of stuff I could not. It was hard for me,
Yeah,
and
What
No,
you
I'm still
laughing at?
laughing. I'm still laughing.
So I'm just thinking about it like on our end, like it's hard to lie about those things.
Yeah.
But when you feel like this is what you have to do,
You get caught up.
and
in
I think that's where you're not ready.
that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But think about it. Now that it's being exposed, like you could get away with this 15 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, he could have got away with it. But now, because of the internet, because of how
People
fast
are serious,
people are looking at
People,
everything, and so now it exposes a weakness, a flaw in you
Yeah.
that you're trying to cover up something. So now, he's tanking. He's tanking, and like PBD
Because
said,
of high heels.
well, think about it. Would you want to vote for a guy that wears heels to cover up his height?
Yeah, he's pretty much
would've,
lying
but
to
God,
you.
I understand that, but maybe people have shamed him into that. You know what I mean?
If you
I mean,
could,
that's
but
what-
so if you're the type of person that can get shamed into something like that, do we want you leading the
No.
country?
That's
That's
the-
the
that's
point.
the point.
I
Yeah, that's the
understand
point.
that,
That's the
but I'm
point,
just
yeah.
saying it's so sad that it comes to this. Like,
He would be better off if he had said, my team or my advisors advised me to do this, but I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or something.
Right.
You know, be a little more
It would have
honest.
been better. Like
those black boots, man, those thing was that high.
They look like women's boots.
They go up in the
you,
back and then they
you
go
could
down.
see that picture when he was sitting down. That's not a normal boot.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Something's
Yeah.
going on.
And
there.
you know, this reminds me of something, right? I think what Americans, one of the things that resonated in America with Trump specifically, whether you agree or disagree, was Trump had a certain
Some Americans.
some whether
Not
you
all.
disagree with or not, I would say Trump had a certain candidness about him that a lot of people resonated with, and this someone like him, I'm surprised because
Yeah.
I would say this, right, and I brought up this name before. A guy named Ross Perot
Yeah.
changed the political landscape in 1992,
Right.
and he was a very small man.
But he didn't get elected.
He didn't get elected, but he was polling very high.
Right.
So
But dude, once you get into this game of politics and you have a whole team around you,
see, that's why I'm going with it.
Yeah.
It's a team.
Yep.
What I was this. I think if political candidates were honest.
Yeah.
Because I think this is where Trump won.
You're right.
Where I'm sure they were like, well, if we did it this way, and being who he is,
Right.
he was like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that.
Right.
I'm not gonna.
That
know
is
what I
where
mean?
he won.
That's
That's
where he
where
won.
Trump
Right.
won. Like Dave Chappelle talks about that was my favorite moment of the Trump campaign.
Yeah, when he spoke about the taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when Hillary was like,
The law.
Yeah.
near taxes.
Because that's the unwritten rule of politics is not
Right.
to mention that. Now, Ron would never mention that this is what his team is doing.
Right.
But had he come out and said, they try to get me to do this, this, and this, but I want to speak to the people.
Right.
Do you care about these things or you care about my height?
He was doing such a great
he-
job in Florida. I think if he had came out and been like, listen, my team's trying to get me to be some perfect politician. I don't care about that. They want me to be a certain height, but I think the American people are
There you
smarter
go.
than that. You know what I mean? Like he could have even used that to his
I
advantage.
talked about the
but-
system.
But again, if your desire outweighs the truth, then you're gonna fold and deceive.
Yeah.
You're gonna be deceived. You're gonna deceive.
Like this dude was, I think, and Bill Maher, PBD mentioned how he was on Bill Maher, and Bill Maher kind of calls him out on it, like, why are you even running? You know what I mean? Like right now, because think about it, DeSantis was like a shoe-in to I'm saying like to let Trump just run this time and then take it in 2028.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or like maybe get the call for VP now and then get but he was probably listening to his team,
Greedy.
listening to, and who knows, it could have been a setup to throw some salt in the game. You know,
Listen,
it could have been a setup.
I don't know why any politician would listen to posters and team
Yeah.
after Trump. Because
Yeah.
before he won, nobody believed this was possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
This
that's-
is just feeding Trump though. Like his,
Oh,
like he's
and he
gonna have.
should.
Yeah. I heard he wears heels. I don't know.
There's mistakes that Trump made. We just talked about them.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in his last year.
Yeah.
But there's a difference because I think he thought he was doing the right thing,
Yeah.
right? And he was being advised to do the certain
Again,
things. But
listening.
yeah, but it's the difference when you're doing something deceptive,
Yeah.
listening to people.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't really see that with him.
Yeah.
I think I think he did listen to the wrong people and made some bad choices
Yeah.
as president, especially with the vaccine and rushing that along.
Yeah.
It's called Operation
Warp speed. Yeah.
But
Warp drive.
but with DeSantis, when you want something so bad
Yeah.
that you're gonna go and try to deceive people, even if it's that small,
Yeah.
like there's something off there.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you said, it's more to do with he's actually putting his character in question by stooping to that because it's unnecessary.
But,
Right.
But if you're gonna wear shoes like that, buy some that you can walk in. Because he couldn't even walk in those shoes.
Because he's lifting himself so like that's a good
He's
4 inches.
five-
So
he's
I was gonna say,
5'11".
that's a
He's-
good
he's
4
probably
inches.
like 5'7".
that boy,
5'6".
my height.
Yeah, he's probably
He's
he's
my
probably
height.
like 5'7".
I'm sorry, you're 5'9", right?
No,
No.
I'm 5'7" and some change.
No,
I'm like
yeah,
5'8".
I thought
you cannot be
DeSantis was like
5'7",
5'8".
dude.
Well,
DeSantis like 5'8".
I think he might be like 5'7", 5'8", and
Yeah.
he's putting them heels on to get himself to
Yeah.
5'11".
Man, if that's what he's worried about, oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God, right? And he doesn't deserve to be.
Let's show this clip of Bill Maher. Actually, Bill Maher's been he's been calling some people out lately. I don't agree with the dude on many things, but he's been he's been having some good
interviewing-
clips.
Yeah, interviewing a lot of
Yeah.
people on the other side.
Right. Let's play this clip real quick. Uh-oh. Instagram. Where's the audio? Oh, down here.
That will never happen.
Well, for a couple
you,
reasons.
You
One,
can't disavow him because that's
He's asking him, why are you running against Trump? Like you're trying to thread a needle that could never happen because you can't disavow
the
him.
base, and yet you're running against him. And that's why, I mean, let's face it, Ron, if campaign was going well, you wouldn't be on this show.
Gangster.
But it's the truth. Like he straight up calls him out. Like you're only here because you are doing bad.
Oh my gosh.
Like
And
it's
he
the
hasn't
truth.
even Trump hasn't even been on the stage with none of them.
No,
Nope.
he doesn't have to. His lead is so large against them. Like he doesn't need to. He didn't do that debate. DeSantis is supposed to debate Newsom coming up, right? Gavin Newsom. Aren't they supposed to have a debate? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Gavin Newsom and
He's gonna lose.
yeah.
DeSantis isn't good at debates. He's not good at like coming off the cuff.
Yeah.
I think he's a really smart dude. Again, his policies are great, but I don't think he's like a people person.
Yeah.
You know, like a Trump or I don't think you got to be.
right.
I'm still waiting to. I can't wait to hear him talk about that.
About his boots.
They call him Ant-Man.
Tiny DeSantis. Desantis.
Descent.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But yeah. So his boots were like over the last week. That had been like a bunch of talk. He got called out for it a couple times on different podcasts. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
Right.
Lisa says sitcom is right. So many episodes of South Park, right? Yo, South Park is gonna have a field day with that. So I want to show this other clip of Bill Maher because this goes along the ideology thing and goes along the education thing.
Oh, I can't stand this guy.
Oh, this is why you're gonna like this clip because he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on there. Degrassi.
Degrassi.
Why are you messing his name up?
Because it just reminds me of Degrassi, the show that Drake was on.
Drake deGrasse.
Yeah, he's about as phony as Drake. But no, Dude, remember those clips that we showed a couple weeks ago where he was trying to explain how gender is not real?
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be a astrophysicist, scientist. Like, he was trying to basically logically explain how men should be allowed to compete in women's sports, and how gender is not really, really not two genders. Like,
make no sense.
Checks in the mail.
So here's Bill Maher calling him out.
Surely there's a portfolio of jokes that would still work on a college campus. Surely.
I would hope not. From what maybe some college campuses, the ones you read about are fucking insane.
You've given up on an entire generation, and you don't know how to make them laugh.
I have given up on any place that doesn't even remotely attempt to believe in free speech, and thinks that anything that they hear that they don't like, that they don't agree with, is violence. These people are fucking nuts, and you should be calling them out. Somebody like you, who has standing with kids, should be not joining them.
When there's a science objectivity to it.
You're doing what parents do. You're taking the path of least resistance, and therefore hurting the kids and yourself. Parents ruin both their lives. They ruin their fucking spoiled kids' lives, and they ruin their own lives because the kids rule the roost. So that's what you're doing on a national level.
I'm feeling more like on the porch. Get off my...
Yeah, so he calls him out for capitulating to the woke narrative, basically, and going along with it just to...
Sure, as he should.
I feel like Neil has always been that guy where he's like gonna just go along with whatever the mainstream narrative is, and he's gonna be a salesman for it.
Yeah,
you know,
because he wants to stay relevant.
Yeah,
and he wants to make money. He makes a lot of money
speaking at different things.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the new Carl Sagan, and it just never hit. You know what I mean? So
yep.
You know. Paul Horner said, "Checks in the mail."
Yeah, checks in the mail, man.
Yep.
You go down on purpose.
We talked. I don't know if we talked about that here. About Bill Maher, how he talks about that, but yet even in his atheism, like he doesn't realize, like, dude, you kind of set yourself up. Like, you're so mad, but you missed the point that a lot of this stuff leads to that because you think you can't make the connection,
right?
That has happened a lot more with comedians because a lot of comedians and a lot of Hollywood celebrity types are left leaning, and I think they were okay with it up to a certain point until they started to be attacked.
Yep.
For jokes and for concepts and for things, because like you said, words of violence now. So once I think it bled over into their realm where they couldn't go to shows and certain things started happening, then they realized, it's like we talked about Anna Kasparian, right? Okay, you're cool with all of this happening in Portland and Philly and certain places, and then when it ends up on your doorstep, and your neighbor's car is getting broken. I don't know where she lives or anything like that, but
she lives in LA.
She lives in,
Yeah.
So when that thing that you're advocating for now is on your doorstep, now you're like, we should change this. And a lot of that happened within the comedic world.
The time.
Yep.
The sports world too. I'm sorry to cut you off, Mom, but that happened with Steph Curry and his wife.
Right.
They were advocating for immigration. These people shouldn't be let in until they wanted to build a community next to theirs. They're like, wait a minute, we pay all this money,
right? Yeah. So they're phony.
Keep that over there.
But Bill Maher, I think he, because even Joe Rogan at one time was very vocal about certain things, and but Bill has always presented himself as very high liberal until I think it started affecting the comedic aspect, which to him is sacred. Jokes are jokes are jokes until he started running into that, and I think that's where he wanted to push back. That's probably what he cares more about.
He's pushing back against the identity politics and like a lot of the woke stuff too. The transgender thing. Like he's had a lot to say about that.
I think in America we do a good job of compartmentalizing things and don't realize that everything is connected.
Yeah.
So like, jokes are not jokes.
Right.
Jokes are connected to something else. When we joke with each other, well, that's why we say,
it's a little bit of truth,
joking,
little truth.
But deep down inside, you meant a little bit of that, right?
Yeah.
So there's a connection.
Jokes
to these
come
things.
from somewhere,
right?
Yeah.
And if we don't recognize that, we're gonna miss it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the problem. We
Right.
miss a lot. We don't see the warning signs, and now you're mad because these things are smacking you in the face. You know?
Right.
It's bad stewardship of ourselves,
Right.
right? Of us thinking, well, I'm gonna do this thing, and when I do this thing, it's gonna be the way I think it should be.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when that starts to backfire on you, you're wondering why, because you were doing this thing that was making sense to you. You know. So I don't know. I think it's bad stewardship.
Yeah.
And we're learning that. Like,
And then what do you do once things start going bad? Then you try to cover up all the decisions you made to get it to that point, and you try to not let that get out to the public, like we're about to talk about right now. You guys hear about that manifesto that kind of leaked?
yes, I did. I was
Yeah.
gonna bring that up if you could bring it up.
I have not.
I
but
do
go.
have it.
You have it.
You haven't heard about that? So yesterday, actually, Steven Crowder's people through Mud Club, someone that is through his organization, got a hold of. Remember the shooter at that Christian school in Nashville?
I do remember that. Yeah.
Remember, it was a transgender person. The news story kind of changed a bunch of times, and then they got a hold of the manifesto. Somehow, this is the only manifesto we haven't heard of, we haven't seen. You know, they wouldn't release to the public. All these other shooters, we always get the manifesto. You know, and it's all over the news about how they wrote up how they love Trump and hate black people. You know what I'm saying? So this manifesto, they weren't going to release, and it got leaked through the police department. And Steven Crowder got a hold of it and put it out yesterday and read it on air. I don't want to pull this up, Mom, because YouTube will take us down because the video got removed off YouTube. It got removed off Facebook. It got removed off of Instagram. So yeah, like they totally took it down, even though it's been verified by the local news station in Nashville. And the two police officers ended up getting fired over this leak. But they didn't want this information out there because it goes against a narrative. It goes against something that an ideology that they've been pushing down the throats of Americans for the last 4 or 5 years, especially. So I'll read a little bit of it just so you guys can see where the mindset was of this person. Of course, this is a mentally ill person who had a lot of trauma in their life. They were transitioning from a girl to a boy in their 20s, and were planning this out for a while. The date on this manifesto paper was February 3rd, 2023. The first thing it says, underlined and in exclamation points, is kill those kids. And then it says, those crackers going to private fancy schools with those fancy khakis and sports backpacks. It says, with their daddy's Mustangs and convertibles. F you, you little S's. I wish to shoot you. Man, what does that say? I wish to shoot your weak asses, D's, and your mop yellow hair. Want to kill all of you little crackers, bunch of little gay slur with your white privileges, F-U-U gay slurs. That's one of the pages from the manifesto. There's other pages that got leaked out too. There was 3 pages in total. But so because that was...
Yeah, one of them was saying, like, I'm so excited about this. I can't wait for it to happen.
And it was saying, like, I hope my anxiety...
I hope my rage
overpowers my anxiety. And it was like, God, please help my wrath overpower my anxiety, something like that. A very, very mixed up person.
When they do this type of stuff, like write all this down, that's like a cry for attention. Like they want somebody to see that.
Yeah, of course. Right? Of course.
Like
they want you to
do
know
something, you do it.
No, they want to leave a statement because they want it to be talked about after they're gone. They want to leave an impact. But my point is, like, this person was clearly targeting, a certain demographic of young white kids, which is tragic.
Yellow hair. the resentment towards
white privilege, which is,
fancy schools.
So many things that we've heard from a certain ideology, the CRT movement that people have been trying to push back against from schools can create this type of hatred. And I think that that's probably one of the reasons why they were not going to put this manifesto out there, is because it shows the dangers of certain ideologies that they want to push.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Diversity and oppression.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, you taking over?
Yeah, just for a few.
So she wasn't white.
No, she was.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
She
saying.
was. But that's the problem. When you're taught to hate everything about that, you know what I mean? When you're taught that the way you grew up is wrong and evil.
And not gay.
Because
using
she
the F words.
She went to that school.
F-gay slur words.
Yeah.
You're not gay.
No, trans. They're not the same.
Oh, it's not.
Post millennial. Can you pull this up, please, Lise? Post millennial wrote this article about the Nashville mayors launching an investigation into who leaked this. They want to find out who did this. Show you what the mayor looks like.
So the police, I guess, they fired 2 police officers.
They fired 2. I guess these are the 2 that they believe leaked it to whoever the source is.
It's so crazy to me when every time we hear this, we talk about the tragedy of mass shooting, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it feels as though lately, like the leaking and the manifesto, and it's almost like they, like you said, like they don't want people to know certain aspects when these shootings highlight a group that they don't want to seem like these
Correct.
people
Dangerous.
do this too.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These whatever it is,
Yeah.
Because it takes away the oppressed versus the oppressor narrative. So you always have to keep that narrative one way. Just like what's going on with Hamas and Israel. You got to keep it that Hamas is the oppressed. Like, even I've heard so many times, like so many people have come up to me and said they turn off their water and their electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they give them back the
hostages. Yeah.
So, but that's a collective thing. Like, you got to do something,
Right.
And I know that's a whole nother thing, and people will.
Yeah, people are gonna.
But I'm just saying,
argue about that to the end of time.
There's another way of looking at it, right?
Yeah,
that you can see. Okay, I get that a little bit. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, it's always about like trying to bring this narrative and leave stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Instead of let's have the whole picture.
When the chief of police was interviewed after this happened, remember he said we don't have a motive, we don't know what really.
That's so dishonest.
And they're saying like we just have rambling, like the manifesto was just ramblings. You know what I mean? Like it's just dishonesty. They don't want to, because if this manifesto was in another direction, it would be everywhere.
Oh my gosh!
It would be on the Empire State Building, scrolling through while they read it on CNN for 24 hours straight. Let me bring this up for me, please, Lise. Metropolitan Police Department released a statement from the chief. It says, "I am greatly disturbed by today's unauthorized release of 3 pages of writings from the Covenant shooter. This police department is extremely serious about the investigation and identify the person responsible. This action showed a total disregard for the Covenant families as well as the court system, which has control of the shooter's journals at the present time due to litigation filed earlier this year. Is now pending in Davidson County Chancery Court, blah, blah, blah." So they're pissed. And the thing is, they probably were never going to think about it. For the police officers, they probably were like, "Why are we?" They were probably frustrated.
Yeah.
Why are we holding on? Why are we not putting this out there?
So I don't know their intent.
But it says that we are not at liberty to release the journals until the court rules.
Yeah.
Which would have been never.
Never. Right.
Yeah.
I believe that. I think there's a lot of police officers who this is their career, but they're frustrated with the way things are handled.
Yeah.
Because this is a public safety issue. We need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
That's the same thing, that happened at that school in South Jersey. Somebody don't agree with something that's happening, and they leaked information out.
Yeah.
To sources.
Yeah.
To to protect parents.
It's crazy.
And then they have the one person that's like the media face of that school shooting. His children didn't even die in the shooting, but he's a parent of kids that went to that school, and he's doing all the rounds, doing interviews, talking about how, this should have never happened. This is just bringing up old wounds. This is a monster who released this, an opportunist. You know what I mean?
But
it's like
your kids are still alive.
Your kids are still alive. Not only that, it's like, but all of the videos and all of the pictures are still all over the internet. They're not taken down.
Yeah.
So the image of the manifesto,
this can help. What they're not talking about is mental illness.
Yeah.
This can help with that. It can lead to, maybe this stuff isn't, what?
Jake is scratching his chin on the microphone, just making noise.
I'm not scratching my chin. My hairs are going off.
No, but this leaking though, it's showing that this is not right.
Listen, I'm glad that there are officers and there are people that are willing to speak out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And the fact that we were able to find out the truth, because it's a clear cover up. It's a clear, they didn't want people to know this information.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's so much, people remember the Las Vegas shooter. There's so many unanswered questions that it's like, what happened there?
Yeah, that was crazy. And we don't know.
But we'll never know.
It's crazy because we hear these things every couple of months, mass shooting, but it's just like you said, why wait? Okay, how long has this been? Are you guys investigating fault? There's nothing. It just happens and it's over with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But immediately after he dropped this, all the news went into damage control. All of the news stations did stories about how this is unconfirmed. It's irresponsible to look at this. Don't look at it. Nothing to see here. Don't pay attention to that, guys. Listen to us.
Unless it's a white Christian Trump supporter.
Right. Then we don't need to confirm anything.
Run with it.
Right. We saw some guy that kind of looks like him on Twitter. That's the shooter. That's what they run with, Yeah. And again, the chief of police back when this all happened told us that there was no motivation. They didn't know any motivation. The motivation's right there.
Yeah.
Man, that must be so frustrating if you're a parent.
Yeah.
To see what happened. It's done.
Yeah.
But you need confirmation. You need answers from the authorities.
Yeah.
We're investigating, and it's oh my gosh.
And then it's got to be painful too, because I remember there was a part of it that he read that the person was journaling their experience and was like, I almost got caught back in May of 2021 or something like that, but I can't believe the day is finally here.
Is that still about that lady, the transgender?
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is she's talking about the white kids. She's white. I don't get it.
But that's what is being taught.
That's the mental.
That's the delusion.
Break.
Yeah.
I think too, because it's not just the transgender. She's a female too.
Right.
And the narrative has always been white male. Yeah.
That's the other thing.
White
a lot of little
Christian male.
Right.
Wait, but she's a female that says she was a male, right?
Yeah. Yeah, she's a female. That says she's a male.
She's transracial
too. Again, when these ideologies are a break from reality, right? When these ideologies aren't based in any truth.
Yeah.
You have to do mental gymnastics to wrap your head around it, and you're literally going into depravity in your thinking. Like you have to reroute the way you think about things.
They said, God, may you make my wrath stronger than my anxiety.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that is some depravity, right? That is some.
You have to lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself things that don't make sense, and you got to make it make sense. I know you, like, you know how it says that bad company corrupts good morals. Right?
Yeah.
Because when you get around certain people, this happened because of this, this, and this. You're right. It did happen because of that. Like, that's what the news does to us all the time.
Yeah.
They tell us, and if it's in your heart to want to accept those things, you accept it.
Right.
And now what are you doing? Now you talk to somebody, and if somebody got a problem like with the way you think, you're spewing the same thing you heard.
Right.
It becomes a part of your process, right? And this is what we're dealing with. It's programming.
Yeah. Let's watch this clip of this dude break down why he thinks they're covering it up. This is one of the TikTokers that we've played before on here.
So the manifesto from the person who took the lives of 6 innocent Christians in Tennessee has finally been leaked. And the people who tried their hardest to cover it up aren't happy about it. People in high places are not happy that this manifesto leaked out. Check out this statement from the chief of police. I am greatly disturbed by today's unauthorized release of 3 pages of writings from the Covenant shooter. There's reports of Facebook censoring the story and Google doing the same. Even YouTube.
Yeah, while I remember this, while Crowder was reading it in real time, they were checking Google, and Google took down, you couldn't search the Nashville shooter. You couldn't search it. It would say information is changing. Check back later. You know how it would say, here's some other sources that have reliable information. It was doing that in real time.
Which I've been banned from, censoring the story. When a tragedy happens that goes against that narrative, they do their best to cover it up and act like it didn't happen. See, this person was targeting white children, and there's a reason. This person chose a Christian school to carry out these heinous acts. They've been brainwashing people to believe that whiteness is dangerous, that Christians are dangerous. The manifesto talked about white fragility. I wonder where they got that idea from. Brainwashing people with these ideas. Chicago professor had a class called The Problem with Whiteness. School board members putting out tweets saying whiteness is evil and white people are more dangerous than wild animals. California Elementary School in Hermosa Beach hires diversity expert that argues that white people are somehow
I just want to, like, outside of America, well, maybe you could say like Australia and
England,
I guess South Africa because of the apartheid thing. But the way we view it, like, it's when you just say white, it's just crazy to me because it's so different than that, right?
Yeah.
But then it just becomes this whole blanket statement. Whiteness.
Yeah.
White people, like, where we get this stuff from?
Yeah.
Like, no, you got Irish were being persecuted back in the day, right?
Yeah. Russians, Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
If you look in
even
Europe
Italians,
itself, Italians.
In America.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not to say that there's definitely racism, but I'm just saying, like, the way it's been programmed in America.
Yeah.
Like, but if you look at the rest of the world, like, it doesn't have to be that way. That's what we accepted. Even how we separate it to make it feel better again, right? Well, white and black, like, to make it feel better for you. It's all BS.
Yeah. Yep.
Inherently racist. And you have articles like this that are tweeted out by news organizations with over 900,000.
MAGA and Christian nationalism, bigger threat to America than Hamas could ever be.
Oh my God.
Come on, bro.
Followers. MAGA and Christian nationalism, bigger threat to America than Hamas could ever be. We can tell that this person was deeply affected by this propaganda when reading the manifesto. This person talked about going after white children, talked about these children as if they were subhuman. Then when people tried to stand up and call this madness out, this is what happens.
A racist sign was found near Bellingham High School, and frustrated parents want to know what's happening inside the school. The school says hate has no place on its campus.
Here's the hateful sign that they're talking about. Stop white hate. Here's a message from the school district regarding that sign. Someone or some group placed a racially charged sign on the Bellingham High School property. I am deeply saddened that this has happened. It is deplorable and we denounce it. We as a school community stand for respect and inclusion. This is a statement put out in response to a sign that says stop white hate. You had people saying this is discrimination. Why don't they want people to call out all forms of hate? Then you have the elephant in the room, which is a big reason I believe they didn't want this manifesto to come out, to see the day of light. That is because who this person identified themselves as. None of them wanted to mention that in their headlines. A hate crime is a hate crime, no matter who it's committed by. Their lives matter. Because they were Christian, because the majority of them were white, the media doesn't care about these lives. All of their lives, no matter their skin color, matter. Your skin color doesn't matter to God.
Michael Hansberg, he said, we don't claim her. She's not white. Yeah, man.
So stop white hate is bad. Were we supposed to hate white people?
Dude, remember when those people got in trouble for wearing those shirts that said it's okay to be white?
Right.
Like, that was offensive. That was hate speech. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so that was in the news. Well, not really. It was in the news in damage control. But Steven Crowder actually broke that story yesterday. And today it was just a bunch of backlash. He got banned on everything, and it's a clear evidence of what they're trying to do and how they're trying to cover this up. So, yeah, that story is still in development. We'll see what happens, man. But yeah, they're supposed to be. Hopefully, people are saying that this may force them to release more of the manifesto because there's way more pages apparently.
Mm-hmm. And it's also a case study in terms of indoctrination that she's white and the way she's talking as though,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are all things that we should be analyzing as a society. How did she get here?
Right.
She's confused about her sexual identity, and she's confused about her racial, because she's calling them derogatory word that typically is associated with that community.
Right.
She's white, and she's saying these white people.
Right.
So she's not just confused about her sexuality; she's confused about her race too.
Her identity.
Ethnic identity. So why can't we ask as a society what caused this person that went to this specific school herself?
Mm-hmm.
What caused this? Why can't we ask those questions?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's sad to me.
Yeah, it is, man. It is, and I hope we get some more answers on this, man. I hope we people stop trying to cover up the truth, and some of these families can get to know what's going on.
We're creating people who can't deal with reality.
Yep.
We're creating weak people, and when you don't have any control, but you got access, there's a lot of damage that can be done.
Strong times create weak men. Weak men create
same thing.
Create hard times. You know what I mean?
But they got access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's hard.
I hope the parents demand.
Yeah. They should.
And start demanding. They need to release this.
Yeah.
Or the community gets behind them.
All right, let's move. I want to move on to this next part of what I want to talk about. So another thing that has blown up over the last week was a TikToker has come up against the black community in Atlanta big time. And I thought this was very relevant because we had just talked about the culture of black business a couple weeks ago. We played that clip from the other podcast, and then I posted those clips, and they were like a bunch of comments. People, they were doing well. I'm gonna play that clip real quick just as a recap. It's only a minute long.
They told me the goal is to get the customer out in 45 seconds. 30 seconds or less. That was the goal. They ain't say smile. They ain't say none of that. They said the goal is to get them in and out 30 seconds. When I went to work for Chick-fil-A, they was like, we're going to pay you. They asked me how much I made per hour. I told them. Then they said, we're going to pay you $2 extra for that. Then I'm 16, Dina. $2 extra an hour is a lot when you're 16. So he was like, and I smiled. And he said, you know what I'm giving you that extra $2 for? Your smile. I don't care if you're cooking. I don't care if you're sweeping. I don't care what you're doing. You need to have a smile on your face. And meanwhile, that's why when we see a Chick-fil-A, you'll see 50 cars in line and you'll wait, right? But if you see a McDonald's with 4 cars, you're like, the line's too long, right? Because they don't fucking stress customer service. So hold on, stop. So I'm trying to teach you how to get to a certain place, and you don't want to accept that you got to change your attitude if you do. And instead of change your attitude, you want to bring up what Asians do. I don't know if the motherfucker is smiling by the way they talking. I don't know their culture. I know our culture, and I know our culture. Black women have bad attitudes, and so do a lot of black people. And my thing is that we want to make money, then fix your attitude. Or you'll be off and you'll see a motherfucker there smiling, and they'll be like, they only picked her because she's white. No, we picked her because she smiled.
And I just have to say, we have to change the mindset of looking at serving as a weakness.
That's what you just was saying. Okay, so that clip, and then there was another one where he was talking about why he doesn't support black businesses because they have bad attitudes. They don't give you customer service. They don't smile when you come in. So that kind of sets up what happened. TikToker by the name of Keith Lee, huge, got a couple million followers on TikTok. He's a food reviewer. I don't know if you guys ever seen this guy.
Yeah, I've seen him before.
He does food reviews like all over the place, but he's also he's always talking about God, and he's always like trying to help businesses out. For those that don't know him, here's a quick clip of like how he does his thing and what he's about, just so you can know.
I got it. Let's try it. It rated 1 through 10. This morning, I was tagged in this video. This video was taken at Bodogas. It's been about 3 months since I first came here. Out the dough still. So today I'm back, and my mission is to see if the sausage egg drop is still a 10 in my eyes. And I came with a small incentive. I had $1,500. I'm gonna get this to the staff and the customers that are in there eating if the sandwich is still a 10. So it's a lot riding on this, but I really want to see, have they been able to keep the consistency of the food over this long period of time while still being busy?
So the backstory on this video is, so this guy will go and review restaurants, but he doesn't only go to like big name places. He'll go to a place no one's ever heard of and give it a review. And because people trust his opinion so much, if he gives a place a good review, the line is out the door.
Yeah, it literally changes their
It
world.
changes their life. So he did that for this restaurant. This was a small restaurant, and blew them up. And then, so that's why he was saying I was tagged in this video. You saw the line was out the door. So he said he was going to go back there to see how well they've been doing now that they're busy. And this is where he's at now.
It's one thing to be busy, but it's another thing to pump out great food while you still being busy. The sausage egg drop. I love that they haven't changed the amount of egg they add in this. It's still stuffed to the brim.
Okay, so he eats the food, and then he likes it.
10. Absolutely. Like I said, I appreciate y'all coming out y'all way just to eat somewhere that I eat at. Love, I appreciate y'all. I'm beyond impressed. For them starting as a small local restaurant that doesn't get a lot of customers to overnight being a spot that people come in bus loads to try your food, and the food is still that amazing, I can't do nothing but take my hat off. There's only one thing left to do. So I just want to first say, I appreciate y'all. I've been hearing nothing but amazing things. When I say amazing things, I mean like insane.
Listen, I've been pushing my people real hard. After that first weekend, we had like hour waits. It was crazy. Like
I can see.
Yeah.
One, it only took me 15 minutes to get my food. Yeah. 2, I saw a video earlier where it was out the door.
Every weekend.
Out the door.
Out the door every weekend.
The sandwich I just got was still a 10. So what I want to do, I got $1,000. I want to give it to you and the rest of the staff.
Nah.
And then the rest of it, then I got $400. I'm gonna pay for everybody's food that's in it.
Keith, you don't even have to do that. You
I have
don't
to.
understand
I
what
have
you
to.
have done. Like, I literally had a meeting last week because we're about to look for another location. Like,
I love that.
I don't understand. You don't understand. I'm gonna cry. I don't cry
Don't
because
do
I'm
that.
a G.
Don't
Oh,
do
my
that.
God.
Don't do that.
No,
Don't do
really,
that.
like,
I appreciate you.
man, we were hurting before you came. I was really worried.
Look
like,
at that.
my parents don't know what I did to work here. I quit my job. I went through my retirement so they wouldn't have to really pay me. I want my parents to have the success they deserve to have with this place. Like, I knew it was too special, and you, like, have made that a reality. So thank you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. That is why I do what I do. God is amazing. That's fire. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
Okay, so that's kind of his thing. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So then last week he announced that he's, been getting hit up by a bunch of people. He likes to do, sometimes he'll do these food tours where he goes to a city and will review food in that city. And this time he was going to Atlanta. And it didn't go so well.
Oh boy.
So what ended up happening was
When my safety and my
he reviewed some of the spots in Atlanta and gave his honest opinion, because that's one of his things. He's like, I'm always going to be honest, because if I'm not honest about my reviews, then people won't believe me.
Right.
I lose my authenticity.
Sure.
So if I love everything that I try, people will stop coming to me because they don't think they won't believe me. He's like, I don't do it out of any maliciousness. He's like, if I don't like something, I'm just going to say it's not for me. Or he rates things on a scale of 1 to 10, you know? So this is after he went to Atlanta. Well, I'll just play one of the. So this is one of the videos from Atlanta where he went to Candy Burris's mother's restaurant. So Candy Burris is the girl from Escape who's on Housewives now. You guys know this. So and Atlanta is tons of black restaurants, black owned businesses. And one of the major things, and this is something that's also been going viral lately, is like the weird rules that these Atlanta restaurants have. They all have these weird rules and weird like quirks about them that
What do
they
you mean?
don't.
Like what?
You'll see. He kind of gets into it a little bit. I'll show you.
Me and my family were at the One Music Festival. Somebody who works with Candy Burris walked up to us and said they've been trying to reach us since we got to Atlanta. He said he'd been constantly emailing me and constantly DMing me for me to come to Old Lady Gang. I got it. Let's try it and rate it 1 through 10. As you can see, I don't have any bags in my hands. Me and my family showed up and we attempted to order before we got here. We called the number they had connected on Yelp 3 times, no answer. We tried to order through DoorDash and it said it was temporarily closed. So when we pulled up, I sent my family in to order for us. They said on the weekends, due to being busy, they don't do any takeout at all.
They do to-go orders? No, we don't do to-go on the weekend. Oh, okay, so send-in dining. Yes. Okay, thank you, sweetie. We appreciate you.
Which is completely understandable. So what we decided to do is my family's gonna go eat. They're just gonna come bring the food out while I'm sitting in the car, so they have no idea I'm here. My family asked how long the wait was to be seated. They said an hour to an hour and a half.
Yes, hour and a half. Okay.
She also said they didn't have any reservations available, so they didn't take down any number, any contact information, nothing. My family then came and relayed that message to me, and I decided to go in myself. We walked in and we were greeted by a nice young lady. And then I met some amazing people who were eating there, and we took some pictures. God is amazing. As soon as me and my wife were done taking pictures, the lady said the table was ready. As always, I don't want any special treatment. I want to be treated like everybody else. I pay for my food like everybody else. I'm a normal person. I'm a normal customer. Things like this is exactly why I do reviews the way I do. Just because I have a certain amount of followers on social media don't make me different from nobody. My mom, my mom-in-law, my sister, they all paying customers just like me. So I want them to be treated just like me. So I asked how long the wait time has been today. She said an hour to an hour and a half. So which I then asked, how were you able to sit me in 5 minutes? This is her response.
How long are we looking for as far as wait?
I'm gonna get it set up like 5 minutes. On the wait, this all call came. Now it's whoever first come first serve.
Again, my family just attempted to eat there less than 2 minutes ago. I then told her I changed my mind. We're gonna go eat somewhere else, and I said, God bless you, and I walked out.
On second thought, it's okay. We're gonna go eat somewhere else. So I appreciate it though. For sure. Thank you. God bless you. Y'all have a great day.
Have a good one.
Have a great day.
I'm gonna be very transparent and honest. I am frustrated. Me and my family just trying to eat food. That's all we trying to do. At the same time, I am frustrated. I understand we are all humans. I do not agree. I do not support. I do not condone shaming this business based on my experience. Like every city we've been to since we've been on food tour, I go to an array of restaurants. From mom and pop shops to staples of the community to super popular to places nobody know about. And Atlanta has definitely been a unique experience for me and something I'll never forget. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, genuinely. But I'm a normal person and I want to be treated like everybody else. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe. And I'm not playing. I understand everybody got their own opinions on situations, But don't go leaving them 0-star reviews. You ain't never been here before. If you like to, come experience it yourself and then leave your reviews.
I like that about him.
Based on my
Yeah.
experience, it's crazy in my opinion. God bless you.
Because he knows how the trolls will be. Like
Yeah.
people will look at
Just
his
wanna pile
review.
on.
Yeah. So that was one of his experience, and I'm gonna tell you, like he has multiple situations like that in Atlanta where you go there, they don't answer the phone, they don't take takeout orders. You have to sit in the. They won't take a drink order unless your
Right.
whole party is sitting at the table at the same time. You know, all of these like weird rules. They're only open from this time to that time. You know what I mean? And so because
Going there in a few weeks.
right, we are. So because of that, and because his reviews, he was honest about his reviews, and you see, he didn't even get food from there. So he was honest about that. I didn't get food because of the way he makes it a point that he does his reviews in the car. His family goes in and eats, and he does it in the car because he doesn't want people to know that he's coming in there because they'll treat him different.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
Case in point.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like the I always tell Liz about this. Like I don't understand the concept of like we're having a visit from the higher ups, so let's all scramble and make the store look perfect. It's like, but that's a
not-
false representation
Yeah.
of what you guys do. So now they're not getting a real. So now nothing ever gets fixed in your business because you don't understand what they need help and where the problem spots are. So yeah, he doesn't want these restaurants to roll out the red carpet for him because it's not a true representation of how they serve the regular
Sure.
customer. You know what I mean? So he does it in a certain way where he reviews it in the car. But he had this experience with a couple places where he didn't even get food. You know what I mean? And so because he left those reviews, people started turning on him. And they were saying that he shouldn't be doing this because he's
Mostly the
tearing-
restaurant owners
right.
and staff. Yeah.
He's tearing down black businesses. He should be uplifting. So that was this clip I was going to play with Ocho Cinco kind of coming at him about it. He's talking to Shannon Sharp on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
Okay, but
like the fact of what he's doing.
Ocho,
I don't like
if you-
I don't like
Ocho.
I don't like the critiquing of our restaurants and having people and talking bad about our goddamn businesses and
Ocho.
like dude, you know how
Ocho.
hard it is
and I get it, Ocho.
for us to even get in the food industry and to have our own restaurant and so like
Ocho.
what are we doing?
Let's talk about it. First, I want to say God bless you and I respect your opinion. Your opinion is just as valuable as the next person's opinion. But I do agree with you. It is hard to open a restaurant. It is hard to get the funding. It is hard to have people come in. I agree. And I'm blessed enough to be a marketing platform for those restaurants, completely free. To me, it seems like you have no idea who I am. And again, that's okay with me. The main point was my qualifications. I'll be honest with you. I've been a professional fighter for almost 10 years. I've traveled the world eating food. I've cut weight from anywhere from 170 pounds to 135 pounds. And food is one of the most important things when it comes to cutting weight. So at the end of the day, I'm just a foodie. I agree with you. I've been blessed enough to be in this position. But then in return, I want to ask you, what are your qualifications to have this firm stance on this topic? Because to me, this seems like your first time ever seeing me. And if it's not, again, I have another question. Why is this your first time speaking on me? We've been blessed enough to raise over $40,000 for a restaurant owner who has cancer. We've been blessed enough to be used as a vessel to retire a teacher in less than 24 hours. We've been blessed enough to be a part of keeping multiple restaurants doors open. And all of this within the span of 10 months.
I want to be very clear. That question isn't to say you or anybody else should know who I am. I simply ask, if this isn't your first time seeing me, what stopped you from talking about the positive things we've been able to do? Specifically to the community that you are worried about us negatively affecting.
And to your point, that's without any formal qualifications. And let's be honest, I think one of the main reasons of why we're here is because I'm relatable. I'm a customer like everybody else. I pay for my food like everybody else. I don't take anything from these restaurants. No matter how much business comes from any post I make, I don't take any money. If I was to go to school and get all of the qualifications and start talking in big words that not a lot of people understand, would they still come out and wait in 4-hour lines? I don't believe so. I'm a normal person just like you. So again, you are completely entitled to your opinion, and so am I. And my opinion is that you should have done a lot more research before you made this firm stance, especially on a platform like yours. I don't go anywhere.
It's funny.
You said I should only get positive reviews. The reason I don't believe that it worked because it'd be inauthentic. And hypothetically, if I was to be inauthentic and you waited in a 3-hour wait time and you got to the front and the food was trash, who you gonna be mad at? The restaurant owner or me? Those 600 people who waited in line, they're gonna all make videos and say I'm a fraud. Say I lied. And that 4-hour line only gonna be there at one time because everybody gonna say the food is trash.
Simply just to spite me, not even a restaurant themselves.
But if it's a restaurant where the people really put their time and their effort into, that 4-hour wait time is gonna be 4 hours the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
God willingly, of course.
Again, I'm gonna be very clear. I think you are completely entitled to your opinion, just like I am. 99% of my videos have ended very positively.
Charge my car for $26.73. That's what she said she made when sales today.
Instead of crying, you need to rejoice.
Their total sales was $2,200 for the day.
Charge them $24.
I appreciate you.
Y'all, look at the impact of Keith Lee. Look at these cars lined up. Y'all, this area is always empty.
Oh, you got these people attention now? Mm-hmm. Talk that talk, George.
Yeah, so you get the idea. So he got a lot of backlash because he was honest about his experience in Atlanta. I mean, and when you go back, if you go to his TikTok and you watch the reviews, he wasn't even being negative.
No, he wasn't.
He was just being honest, and with a slight positive twist on it, like saying he understands why they have these rules. Like he said, it might not be for everybody, but this is their rules, so that's what they do. You know,
And he never bashes them.
He never bashes them.
Yeah.
So,
But
go ahead.
People though, they have this team mentality,
Right.
You know, ocho cinco. Like, why are you talking about the black community? You're supposed to be uplifting, even though it's trash.
Yeah.
You know, he's the way that he's critiquing them is in a positive way,
Right. And maybe it can help them improve their customer service.
Correct.
to
And he
the
never
point-
bashes them.
Right.
He actually says, do not, this is my personal experience.
Right.
This is what happened. He just gives an account of what he went through. He actually goes to great lengths to say, go there and have your own experience. That's why
Right.
he wants to buy their own food, which I think is honorable, that he doesn't want to be treated like a celebrity.
Yeah.
He shows up, he sends his family in for that reason,
Right.
because he wants to get a real perspective on what it's like. Because if I tell you I'm coming, you're going to roll out the carpet and treat me
Yeah.
a certain way. Versus if I send somebody you don't know, then that's the everyday customer, which is really your patron.
Yeah.
That's the person that comes here all the time.
Now, the reason why I played those other clips of the other dude talking about black business is because he's from Atlanta, and he was saying that I'm never going to be the type of person to just support you because you look like me, you know, or I shouldn't have to like love what you do because you look like me. It should be because of your service.
Sure.
So
we've talked about that.
Yeah. So I think a lot of these, what he exposed, what Keith Lee exposed, is this idea where people want their business to be about the ambiance and the clout of it all, and like, you know, who's a celebrity? Let's make sure they're getting a seat.
Bro, how many celebrity chefs, or how many people come up, like, you know, when we're at these shows and stuff, and they call themselves chefs, you know,
Yeah,
chefs,
right?
And they want to, you know, try to get in or try to get their stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to promote,
right?
You know, in any way they can,
right?
And it's just so disingenuous
Mhm.
a lot of times the way they're doing it,
Right.
You know, and I get it. Like, I'm not saying like you can't promote. I'm just saying the way they're doing it, especially in that community, it's the same thing over and over again. We see it over and over again.
Right.
But to me, it's more about like the appearance of being, like, even calling, if you're not a chef, you're not a chef.
Right.
It's all right if you just cook food
Mhm.
and you cook it well. You don't got to be a chef. But
Right.
how many of these people are calling themselves chefs?
Yeah.
And they're obviously not chefs, you know?
Yeah. And it's like when you care more about, you know, what celebrities you can get in the building, or like if you're making people wait for 2 hours, because some of the restaurants he was saying, like, they don't even let people wait inside. Like, you have to wait outside in your car for your table to be ready. So some of those people were out in their cars for like 2 hours waiting for a table. But then if a celebrity walks up, they get in right away. You know what I mean? And it's like, how are you able to sit them down? There was another restaurant that he went to where it was like, they did that to him, where he sent his family in and they couldn't get a
Yeah.
spot. So he went in himself to make a point.
Right.
And they were like, ready to seat him right away.
Right.
And he was like, well, how long they've been waiting in the car? And he was like, whatever table you were going to give to me, give it to them. And he was like, bring me my food and I'll eat it in the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I texted you this morning. I have a take that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Maybe we can all work it out. Here's what I was thinking about, right? I think we were before social media and before this current age of quote unquote black excellence. When we went to the mom and pop soul food restaurants, we went there in support of food that we grew up with or we ate, right? But we kind of, while we were there, there was lower expectation, right? Because we know that they were offering, they were working off of a small budget, so we put up with styrofoam plates and cups, and we put up with kind of sort of bad service. When we drove in the parking lot, it was kind of in a rundown area usually, right? Out back is a F-150 or a minivan or old Cadillac DeVille. So we kind of, the expectation of the environment, the ambience in the apartment kind of matched the quality and the service, and we put up with it. We dealt with it. This is the older black restaurants. And so we dealt with it and we said, okay, well, it is what it is. But now there's a new generation of quote unquote black elitism, especially in places like Atlanta, where they always tout black wealth and black excellence. So when we go to, and I haven't been to that area, but I can surmise because you guys have traveled and I've seen enough reviews and I've been to certain places where I see certain things. Now, what I can tell you happens in those places, and from what I've seen from the shows and from the environment and things, these people present an image of very upscale. So we went from the old minivan and the F-150s to Bentley Bontegers. Right. And we went to Rolls Royces and Mercedes Benz, and the owner is in his favorite Elton John jacket, you know, and the girl is weaved up in a gown, and the owner and Candy Burris and these former celebrities that now become restaurateurs, right? And what we're hearing is that in those places, that same experience from those old restaurants are now there, but it's upscaled and higher priced.
Right.
So here you are paying $18 for Long Island, but it's coming in a styrofoam cup. You have long waits because, you know, you have to pay to be seen.
Yeah.
The celebrity culture, right? So it's hard now because everybody wants to be in these places where you're being seen, and then it's the flash and it's the goal, but the service is terrible.
Right.
Like you said,
The food is mediocre.
The food is mediocre.
Right.
But because we're caught up in the celebrity worship culture, a lot of that we were looking past. When he did this, a lot of people came out and said, this is exactly what's been going on.
Right.
And that's why he does it from the perspective of a regular person. Because if he went in as Keith Lee, they would absolutely roll out the red carpets as they have.
Yeah.
And he would be lying like he was saying.
Yeah.
So they know that. So the enamorment for us as people is, because we're caught up on the celebrity aspect, those people who aren't restaurateurs, they're usually former singers or NBA players or athletes or entertainers that have become restaurateurs, don't really know how to run a restaurant.
Right.
They're just there for the show, and they've turned it into the club, the vibe. What you're going to these black restaurants for is not for the quality of food or service. You're going for a vibe.
Right.
There's a vibe there.
And think about
a club
it.
Vibe.
The clubs, how did the clubs give the illusion of exclusivity? They would make that line wrap around the block. Even if there was tons of space in that club, you got to have a line, because otherwise it doesn't seem like people want to get in.
Right.
So they've taken that concept. I've seen other YouTubers speak on this, especially black dudes from Atlanta, and they're saying like, yo, the food culture in Atlanta is horrible.
It's horrible.
They're like you can't go to a restaurant and not wait for 2 hours. Like, you're waiting for 2 hours no matter where you go, and you have to wait outside, and you have to wait in your car or wait in a long line, and you know, they got all these rules, weird hours that they're open.
Adding in gratuity.
Yeah.
You know.
Different things. You can't, there's no substitutions, no add-ons, no, like if you make an order, you can't change nothing from the order. Like all these rules that they put in place.
Right. And that's why I say part of it is our fault too. Part of the black community thing is the love of the vibe and the scene, which is the club culture. They've brought club culture to restaurants. So we are not going for necessarily the quality. Yeah, we want the food, but we're there for the scene and the vibe. And those people who are, like I said, aren't restaurateurs, they're usually celebrity types, have created that for that purpose. You're here to be seen. Who cares about the food? You know?
Yeah, I think it's more about the facade than anything else.
Yeah. Like, it's the facade of some eliteness, you know?
Yeah.
You want me to play this skit you sent me?
Yes.
Okay.
I will say, like, us traveling.
Yeah.
We've had, you can count on your hand good experiences.
Yeah. On one hand.
Yeah. like,
and probably on a couple fingers.
I'm thinking about one that stands out was when we were in Chicago.
I was thinking about that the whole time because that dude knew what he was doing. Like that dude, that Black Club.
Yeah.
And now they were dropping the ball in other areas, but the food and the service was good.
Right.
All right, let me play this skit. Pull this up, Mom.
That party has a BBL. Get them sat immediately.
Question, what if it's a bad BBL?
This is Atlanta. All BBLs matter. Now, we're not doing any call-ins or to-go orders, all right? Valet, what's the price?
$40 cash, $50 card.
Very nice. Okay, so remember, there's a $5 surcharge
Hey, yo, Mike.
for...
Tell me why boy just pull up to the host stand and talk about how long is the wait. I'm like, boy, you got on some off-brand jeans. You ain't got no bust down, no rolling, no nothing.
What? You got him out of here, right?
Hell yeah. Then everybody start talking about, oh, it's Keith Lee. I'm like, I don't care who he is. With your family or whatever. Ain't none of y'all got no BBL. How about sit y'all?
No.
Hey, then they gonna say, it's hot outside. Can I get some water? I said, boy, if you don't take your ass to the quick trap, what you think this is? Cheesecake? Ain't you the owner?
I quit. Just remember, it's a two.
Yes. Yeah.
I've never even heard of this dude.
No?
Keith Lee.
Yeah, he's an MMA fighter.
I've seen
started
his
it
TikToks.
not too long ago. Even Kevin Hart invited him
Yeah.
to his house to try his burger and said, I want your honest take.
Mhm.
Like, people trust the guy
Yeah.
because of how he's doing it, because he
Right.
doesn't want, he says that over and over again, I do not want to, I buy the food. When they offer me things,
Right.
I
He
buy
always
the
buys,
food.
and not only he pays more.
Yeah, he pays
and he
more.
gives huge tips all the time. Like,
But again, like, that's rare.
right.
And I think it's the way he talks too.
Yeah.
But that's rare because most people are bought in.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I say the vibe, we're too caught up on the vibe and the culture that we can't see. This is bad service. This is not good.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be waiting this long. You know what I mean? It's
But now he's getting like death threats and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I will say South Africa waits were crazy.
Yeah, well, that you waited for your
But-
food. You
for your
didn't wait
food.
to get in.
But I
You waited
think
for
like
your-
that's just normal there. Like we started to get that.
The
like,
culture of like
Yeah.
they,
They took
take
their
their time
time.
cooking
Yeah.
it.
Right.
You know.
Because it was
And I gotta push back on one thing on this whole scenario, because there's one thing that we're not taking into account is so you're talking about these black restaurants that have lots of customers, and we all know how black folk
Well,
can
I was
be
gonna say that.
in
Yeah,
restaurants.
I was gonna say that. So then-
Overly demanding. They want to change everything. They want a million substitutions.
Mm-hmm.
They call the waiter over every time the waiter walks by. They need something else. You know what I mean? It's like, remember, you talked about it before. Is that
where the
idea of like
parodies on that?
you're right. Oh, that idea of like, this is my chance to be
I gotta
treated
be
like
God.
I gotta be served. You're
Yeah.
here to serve
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
right? So, can you imagine how
Yeah.
chaotic it gets in those restaurants?
I know it does.
And the
Adding
you know,
gratuity because
because people ain't tipping. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Can you imagine like how many people ask for stuff while they waiting in line, or
Mm-hmm.
want to change their orders, or want to get it? You can't make up their mind. Want to sit down, but then want to get it to go. But then you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it just causes chaos in the entire establishment. You got the wait staff complaining. So then these restaurants try to implement these rules
That's a
to
good point.
get some semblance of like, let's eliminate some of the chaos.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Things that they do.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there is that side of it as
Yeah.
well, where it's like I kind of understand why.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, he understands.
I totally get
understand
it.
why they have to have so
Yeah.
many weird rules. It's because like, yo, y'all act crazy in restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all-
But again, like, who are we catering to?
yeah,
Yeah, like, are we trying to be? What are we trying to be? And then you're gonna have whatever you're trying to be. Then that's what you got to deal with.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like now you're gonna have to deal with the stuff because this is what you wanted to be. So I think there's that too. Like, because if we're just a restaurant,
yeah.
it's different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like of course, like there's soul food,
Right.
but I'm just saying, like, how many places are just restaurants?
Yeah.
And you're not toting any of that, and you're just like,
No, my point is, like, if you're in a regular restaurant, right, and you have the one table of like very needy people that is annoying the wait staff, it's like, okay, it's annoying, but they can manage that. But imagine every table is that.
Are you trying to say
yeah,
A certain community is a certain way, Jamie.
I'm just saying, I've
saying that?
experienced, certain people that I go to restaurants with will be a little bit overly demanding. You know what I mean?
And they obviously have those rules in place
Yeah.
for something that probably happens fairly often, which is, hey, you're a restaurant, you make the call.
Yeah.
But you cannot now be mad that people have a complaint about your service.
Right.
Because you made rules.
Your service better be on point.
Yeah, you made rules to facilitate and to correct those things that are causing a hindrance in your business. I totally get it.
Right.
Understand it. But now you can't be like, hey,
right,
you have no right to criticize. Like, you can't. That's not how it works.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because none of
He didn't criticize the rules.
No, he didn't. He just states
good.
them.
Yeah, he states them.
But the thing about it is that they don't want the rules being stated either.
Right.
They don't want nobody know what they're up to.
And he pointed out the fact that they're willing to make exceptions if you're a certain status.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
That's
I
what
mean?
they're upset about.
That's what
they're upset about.
That's what he was.
Oh, Keith Lee.
Right,
That's why the
right.
skit was important, because the way they speak, even though it's satirical, the way that guy is speaking to his staff is exactly how it goes down until he lands there.
Right.
So, are we talking a little bit about Desantis in that situation? Like how?
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's connected in
It
a
is
way.
connected. Right. We're talking about phonies.
Yeah. We're talking about being
Yeah.
because it's bad stewardship again. Like you're talking about a community where there's a lack of stewardship, right? Culture that is not being cultured,
Right.
It's not being cultivated,
Right.
And when you cultivate, you have to take stances, but you don't. If you don't take a stance, you're gonna let in anything. If you feel like if your culture is making money or doing what you think is best in your eyes, well, then you're gonna fall for things eventually down the line because you got no standard.
Right.
Your standard is you or money or you know what I mean.
I had that conversation with my wife about Black-owned restaurants, which I will continue to go, but I will not accept mediocrity and I will not accept bad service and poor quality just because they're Black.
Right.
And I told her, I said, if we go to those places and it's not good, we shouldn't. I mean, you don't go write nasty reviews per se, but we should let them know this is unacceptable.
Right.
Or
don't keep going there.
Don't keep going there. And we shouldn't. What I'm really trying to say is this: you shouldn't give people a pass just because they look like you, just because they share certain things in common with you. You should hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Because that's the way they get better. Now it's up to them once you place this on them. Because I'll come to you and I'll say, hey, this could be now. It's up to you, right? It's up to you, and I think how he's doing it is a form of that, but it's done over social media.
Yeah,
where he always clears it up like, listen, this is my experience. I think the restaurants they're hoping that he comes to drum up business so they can make a ton of money.
Right.
But they want him. They really just want him to tell me when you're coming so I can roll out the carpet for you.
Yeah.
I can make it special for you. You will tell the people come, make a lot of money, win-win.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
But
what they want.
That's why he does it the way he does it, so that they won't be surprised. He's the secret shopper
Right.
of food reviewers. You know what I mean?
It's not a true representation.
It's not true
Exactly.
representation.
Exactly.
And you, like you were saying with stores, when they tell the associates, we're coming on Monday and they clean up, it's not a true representation of how the store looks. So we can never really improve this and get this right, because you're just making it nice for me when I come on Friday. I see it and then it blows
we do
up.
our walkthrough, and I'm like, wow, you guys got everything together here.
Thank
okay,
you,
see you next time. Yeah.
Nothing fixed, nothing. And this is, like you said, amplify this. I mean, we're talking about the foodie guy, but amplify this with politics, with the church, with society, with the schools. That's what it is. It's a Band-Aid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I keep thinking, see, I didn't see that stuff with Desantis, and now I keep thinking and seeing that those shoes, those boots, and the how high are they, and how he's trying to walk, and now that puts a different picture
Exactly.
about him, and it just makes it feel so phony.
But that's why they're saying like he's done, bro.
I think like if you think about it, with when you got a lot of out of order stuff, what happens? There regulations. People put more regulations into play.
Right.
More laws, right?
Yeah.
it's not like when you can steward yourself. Like, think about it. The 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
Honor your mother and your father. When that becomes a part of your being, right? When you love one another, and you don't have to. That doesn't have to become a commandment. Do not murder.
Right.
I don't even want to murder. I don't want to kill anybody. When you don't have to guard yourself. Laws are only for those who are gonna do it.
Yeah.
When that's not who you are, you don't need laws.
You don't need laws, yeah.
So then we keep adding all these laws. That's because nobody's stewarding
Right.
anything.
No one's really removing these desires from their hearts.
Yeah.
So we think we can put laws in place.
There is love. There's a love of money.
Right, right, right.
But it's selfishness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's selfishness. Because then it's like, because if you really ask, like you start snapping on, why you got all that? Then they be like, because y'all niggas.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It becomes a whole thing.
Yep. Yep.
And we've seen it so many times. You know?
So Stan commented on Rumble. I see his comments on here. He said, hilarious.
Stan, what you got?
He said, hilarious. The fact that they have to focus on his boots. Talk about his policies and how he performed as governor. Then he said, they did the same thing with Trump's hands, tiny hands. I do remember that. Remember that everyone was talking about he has tiny hands?
but I do think that's different than the tiny hands because
you're pointing out something he can't help.
Being deceptive
Right.
about.
Now, if Trump was wearing...
He didn't wear fake hands.
Imagine Trump always wore gloves
Yeah.
everywhere
That's what I was gonna say.
they were padded, so his hands...
He embraced his hands.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson.
Right.
Why Michael Jackson wear gloves?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Well, we would know if Trump fell for it, if Trump went from talking with his hand to like his hands were and I'm great.
Right.
Like we would know, but he didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
He lying to us, man.
I think part of it too is we're in especially here in America, the expert analysis, the person who they've studied everything. They know what politically you want. They know what you want. Food. We rely too much on that. So politicians. Let's bring on the political analysis expert. Let's bring on the hand gesture expert.
Yeah.
Let's bring. You ever seen these politicians? One thing that I noticed that Trump didn't do. Every president, especially Democratic president, what they would do as soon as they during the campaigning stage, they would take off the jacket and they roll up their sleeves.
Yeah, and get in there with
Take
the
off
working
those
man.
ties.
Yeah, right,
I'm a regular
right.
guy.
Yeah.
And they would make it look like they're doing,
So
they're getting
phony.
it done.
Right. Right. They do the speech and they're like on their knee and they're talking to the people. They're like, you know, when I get in there, I'm about... Joe Biden did that.
Yeah. And then
Pence.
Pence did
Pence
that.
did
Yeah.
it with the gas thing. And He
Yeah.
didn't pay for the gas.
Yeah.
He's just like
Yeah.
filling up my truck.
Just filling up my truck.
But we talked about that before. That's all in the theater of it.
Yeah.
It's in the theater of it. Like
Right.
I'm rolling up. The symbolism is I'm rolling up my sleeve and I'm getting the work for you.
You're right. I'm not
Right?
going to do the work.
Right. But it resonated with people because the experts that are behind their campaign tell them, so you're gonna roll up your sleeve and then you're gonna don't do this, do this. Don't point like this, do this. Don't when you're speaking firm, use a
Right.
gesture. And it's like it's all
Yeah,
fake.
that's where the whole thumb thing
From Clinton. I remember
that came because they were saying when you point,
it seems
aggressive, and off-putting to people. So
Yeah,
use your
use the
thumb
thumb.
instead. You know, like
Yeah.
all of those things matter. You know,
Yeah, it does. And you have a person who is there to help you with that.
Yeah,
And
but you can't help Biden though.
no, not him.
But-
But what I'm saying is, I'm just kind of make this point real quick.
Yeah.
With Trump, he didn't do any of that.
You're right.
Yep.
Right. He was goofy.
He was genuine.
The only thing he did was
funny.
pace the stage when Hillary was.
Yeah.
So even think about this though. Like we're talking about that, right?
Yeah.
But people view him based off of the kind of service they think they should be getting. It's the same type of thing. But even service is subjective in a way.
It
Not
is.
fully.
It
right?
is. No, but it is.
Because I'm just saying, like, in terms of even politicians or I would say representatives, like the meaning behind it is they're supposed to do a job. Right? They're supposed to be your representative. That's the point. But it becomes this whole other thing that doesn't have to do with their service.
Right.
And I think that's where we miss it even on the other side. All these people want all these things that really don't matter. You just want it because you feel like now you're being served.
Right. They want someone to come in and make their life perfect.
Yeah. And I think too, part of it too is this: the political theater is the people who feel like their candidate isn't strong. They need the theatrics to convince other people. They've already convinced themselves, but they need the theatrics. He seems more presidential. He seems more eloquent. She seems more this. So they need, for that person, they need the theater to help rope in or with their argument why this person is better. You know what I mean? So that's all they need.
Well, again, like political politeness. It's all politeness is connected to how it's connected literally to culture. Right. But then politeness misses kindness. Right. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Because politeness is really just an offshoot of kindness.
It's not. It's the image of kindness,
right? But it
really
lacks.
There's no
lacks the truth.
Yeah,
I got a perfect analogy for this. I was watching this thing today about men who go on OnlyFans, and the girl said she would never talk to any of those guys.
Dude, I saw that clip.
Did you?
Yes.
Right, and how they make her rich.
Bro, they asked her straight up, like, would you ever marry one of your subscribers? And she was like, "Oh no, ew."
Right.
Like, and then when she realized what she said, she tried to backtrack.
Yes,
because they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, what are you saying here?" Like,
right.
And she tries to backtrack because now she realizes all of her subscribers are going to look at this and be like, "The whole reason I'm paying you is because I feel like I have a chance."
Right. So she's that falls into the realm of politeness.
Right.
She's faking it.
Right.
Like she would be into them.
Right.
Right.
So just to get their money.
Just to get their money.
Yeah.
But that's the politics of it, right?
Right.
And that's what that's the game. When if you're just kind, that's genuine.
Right.
Right? It's like nice guys finish last because you don't understand the difference between kindness and politeness, right? You can be nice, but that's polite, right?
Yeah.
And then why are you doing it?
Right.
So, but kindness that's selfless.
And kindness is not always polite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's off-putting. Why? Because it actually it brings in meaning.
Yeah.
Right? But it also challenges your politeness.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Right.
It's kind to ask somebody, what are you doing that for?
Right.
Where you get that from? Where'd you get that idea from?
Right.
That's kind. You can do it in a disrespectful way.
Right.
Right. But I'm saying like you can say it if
it's genuine. Yeah. If it's genuine. Yeah.
And it challenges people.
Cool. All right. Let's keep moving so we can wrap this up. So you sent me this thing, Jake. Mom, can you pull this up? This image right here, a little meme. I thought this was interesting.
Oh yeah.
So it's somebody saying facts. Nobody else but these three in every war.
Yeah, I thought that was stupid.
Why is it when something happens, it's always you three, and we have a Jewish person, a Christian, and a Muslim?
Yeah.
So they're saying all the wars are only because of them.
Yeah. It's just, to me, it was just like, because this thing went viral. But
what about
Mao?
Mao? What about Pol Pot, Mussolini, Hitler?
Exactly. Idi Amin.
Right.
But dude, why?
Genghis Khan.
I think it was like, why is this
Shaka
this going?
Zulu, like-
Yeah. Why is this
The
going
Roman
viral?
Empire.
Yo, because people are.
They want to blame religion.
I don't understand how short-sighted you have to be to really believe that. Like, that's correct.
They believe it. They're just trying to convince everybody to believe it.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Like if you just, because I like history.
Yeah.
Like if you just think a little bit, like Hitler had nothing to do with religion. He was an occultist,
Bro. We just talked about how my daughter is studying the the Greek wars.
Yeah.
They're not any of these.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Pol Pot?
Yeah. Ideologue.
It's funny because we just saw Neil deGrasse Tyson. He doesn't have anything. I'm just using
Degrassi.
I'm just using him as a typology in this. It's funny because like when you look at what colleges have become in terms of demonizing God, right?
Yeah.
When they will usually tout the damages that Christianity specifically has done.
Yeah.
Right. But when you never hear them talk about all the men that murdered millions of people who were atheists.
Yeah.
And cited Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Cited all of the people who indoctrinated them and wrote books based on the evolutionary theory and why
Karl Marx,
all these stuff. They'll gladly omit that
Mhm.
because they're trying to paint a picture that only
religion causes these wars.
Yeah, more specifically Christianity.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of college education, I saw this clip the other day of a Fresh and Fit podcast. I haven't watched that thing in forever, but it was just them asking all these girls who were in college to name 2 countries.
I saw that.
Oh.
And they couldn't do it, bro.
But I love that but the best part about that, I know exactly the clip you're talking about, is when they do this. I have a bachelor's degree in science.
Right.
I have an MBA. I have they
so
go
he
down
goes,
the list.
he goes, go around the table and name 2 countries. You can't repeat anyone else says. And they struggle, bro. It's
but again, we talked about this earlier. You're going to college and you're only getting your identity from that degree.
Yeah.
You know, you don't care about what you're learning about unless it gives you an identity.
Right.
But anything else, like if they're telling you, if you take a feminist class that's going to tell, for women, it's going to give you an identity.
Yeah.
You're with that.
Mhm.
Right. But most of the stuff you're learning, like geography, like the stuff that happens in other countries, history, you're not paying attention to any of that stuff.
In fact, that's how people win arguments now these days. When they have no valid points to what they're talking about, it says, well, I have a college degree and you don't.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That reminds me,
You're racist.
Did you send that video of the IQ thing where
yes,
the one
dude.
feminist girl who was she had a PhD and the one kid who
I watched
was
that
just
whole thing, man.
Yeah, I seen
I
that
did
too. He was in the military and she picked him to be last on the IQ and she ended up being last.
Yeah, here it is right here. I'll play it
I'm a
real
high school
quick.
graduate and I work in the Marine Corps.
I'm 30 years old. I have my PhD in cancer biology and I work in a biotech industry. Grad school, I went to University of South Carolina, and undergrad, I went to University of Florida. 1, 2, 3.
So they want them to rank who they think is the smartest in IQ first to last. So this girl, the whole time, if you watch the whole thing, she thinks she's so smart because she has all these degrees and they gave them all IQ tests, and she ranks the dude who's just in the military. He didn't go to school as the dumbest because, of course, he's a white male, so he has to be dumb.
3, 4, 5, 6. 2, me, I don't know. PhD, cancer biology scientist. I work in a biotech company. We make COVID-19 testing kits, stuff like that.
Make COVID-19 testing kits.
And you hear the other kid, woo!
Ooh.
Then 6. It has nothing to do with your background. I don't think you really have the highest EQ out of all of us.
EQ.
Tyler,
You didn't
ranked
even
last
say the
for me
right
personally
thing.
because the way he carries himself. He was ranking intelligence based on his point of view and not taking in other people's point of views.
So number 1 is Raymond.
Because IQ has nothing to do with point of view.
Number 2 would be Haley. Number 3 will be Tyler. And number 4 would be Shada. Number 5 is Sean. And
Look,
number 6 is Mel.
keep on going, girl. She ended up being the lowest IQ in the whole place.
Wow. Yeah.
I'd like to see what she said. Did they question her about it?
I think they did. You can go watch that. What is that on?
they didn't go hard
That's
enough.
on Jubilee. Jubilee's page. Yeah, that was a funny one though. I just sent that to y'all because it just.
Yeah, I've
saw
seen it before though.
Yeah. But
so the fact that she said EQ, just, that made me laugh
because that's pseudoscience, psychological babble. That's emotional.
Yeah.
That's like emotional intelligence.
Right.
That's what people call EQ. Like you have your IQ and then your EQ.
Yeah.
Which is a made up thing. All right. So then you sent me this clip from someone. This is a Instagram clip.
Only vote left.
Why is that?
I saw them as very stupid. I would fear the conservatives because they come with principle. That's not someone they can brainwash. But the left I know they have no values and no principles to begin with. I dare you to find one Islamic extremist that votes for Donald Trump. Never do it. They'd give their vote to the leftist who wants to run around in pride parades. And Islamic extremists are against gays and homosexuals and transgenders, but they want the left to go and get busy with that. They want them, go speak about the climate, go speak about abortion, go kill yourselves, go do that. And
Damn. They want the left to get jiggy with it. That's what it
I
sound
think the
like.
clip was like, this is an extremist talking about.
Talking about.
But that's not far off from what I've heard from a child psychologist on pedophilia.
Mhm.
It is that, and we've talked about this before, a lot of people who are pedophiles look for broken homes.
Yeah.
They look for fatherless homes. They look for a certain thing.
Mhm.
And they're not doing that because these kids are just better. They're doing it because that's an unprotected child.
Right. They
You
know
what I
they
mean?
can get access to that child much easier.
That's interesting because Muhammad married a 9-year-old.
Keeping it all.
He married a 6-year-old and waited
and then,
until
yes,
she was 9.
Correct that.
Consummated it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Went off real quick there.
Disgusting.
All right. Then you sent me this other one: 3 billionaires destroying the real estate market. So this is about Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Bezos, and Zuckerberg. Okay.
Jake was busy today.
That's 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's not going to talk about them.
No, he's
Real estate market right now. And number 1, I bet you've never even heard of. Number 3 is Jeff Bezos. He's on here for 2 reasons. He spent millions investing in this company, and you might think it's not a big deal, it's just a real estate company. That real estate company has already bought up 200 single-family homes and taken $100 million of inventory off the market for first-time home buyers. And he's buying up hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland, 420,000 acres, but also way behind Bill Gates. Which is bad, but still not bad enough to be on this list. Number 2 is the CEO and co-founder of BlackRock, Larry Fink. Look at this right here. BlackRock and other corporations are buying up to 30% of available homes in Georgia, 30% in Arizona, and the list just goes on and on. 29%, almost 30% in Texas. That's a huge state. They are choking the housing market of much needed supply by buying it all up with cash. Number 1 is businessman John Carl Malone. He's 82, has a net worth of $9.4 billion that he made in telecommunications. Is the largest private owner of farmland across America. And 3 billionaires.
That should be illegal.
Isn't Bill Gates the largest owner of farmland?
I don't know.
I thought he was.
I know he mentioned them, so I know he's probably up there.
Maybe that's old.
Could be.
But no, I just wanted to share that because these people are trying to
buy up all the property,
do something,
and not just here.
No,
They're buying
all
it.
over.
They're buying up all the stuff in Ukraine. They're getting all the contracts to rebuild Ukraine. BlackRock is Vanguard. All over the world. They're
saw what happened in Hawaii.
Yep. They're trying to buy up all that property. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And then they're pushing everybody, all these other companies, to implement these DIE stuff or DEI stuff.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we're talking about it, but there is if you don't know what to do, there is a level of prayer.
Yeah.
That we need, when
Absolutely.
when you don't know how to fix something, when you don't have a solution, give it to God, man.
Yeah.
And expect Him to work in your life.
Yeah.
Or else you're gonna be deceived by other messiahs.
Yeah.
Other people, right?
Or you're gonna let your fear make you make irrational decisions.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
Other people, you're gonna be more susceptible to be deceived or be led astray because other people will they got an idea. I don't think they accepted Hitler. He came at the right time.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Same thing with Pol Pot. I'm gonna play one more clip. Dave sent me this while we're on the podcast, so I'm guessing he wants me to watch it.
Here's an easy way to know if you are controlled. Is there somebody or something that you're not allowed to criticize.
That's right.
Simple as that. If you lived in Nazi Germany, you couldn't criticize the Nazi Party. If you lived in the Soviet Union, you couldn't criticize the Communist Party of Russia. If you live in China right now, you can't criticize the Chinese Communist Party. If you live in North Korea, you can't criticize Kim Jong-un. If you live in Cuba, you can't criticize the Cuban Communist Party. If you live in America, who can't you criticize?
Ooh.
Who can't you criticize in America?
He doesn't say
The
it.
Jewish lobby.
Yes.
On both sides.
Right.
That's right. That tells you who controls the country. You're not the fact that we're having this. You want to know?
Dave sent me that. I've heard a lot of people say that. Look, if you want to know who's oppressing you, just look at who you can't criticize.
I mean, more than that, you can't criticize
trans.
You can't criticize gays. You can't criticize
trans people. You can't criticize. Well, some people, whites aren't allowed to criticize blacks. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's weird times, man. Weird times. It's like you're even thinking playing that YouTube might give you a strike or ban this video just because we played that, you know. So does that make the point of what they're saying? We were saying that before. Like, it's weird. All right, we'll leave it there. Let's see, yeah.
Jake
No
said,
more comments.
More prayer.
Yes.
More prayer.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys for watching. Watching our country like a sitcom, like they're saying in the chat. Yeah, man. Let's keep let's keep fighting this good fight, man. Let's keep this thing going. Make sure you guys like the video, share this thing, support the cause. Go to the Patreon, patreon.com/youngliontv. Become a member over there. Help spread the pride. Get the merch at the merch store, and we'll see you guys next week, man. Peace.
Peace.
Young lion, go live, yeah. Young lion, you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah. Go